United States.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app. WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. The 3 p.m. hour is presented by First Liberty Building and Loan. If you love news and talk, you have to connect with the biggest personalities in the South at thepodcastpark.com. It's more original Atlanta content from Atlanta's hometown talk crew. From legal news to sports and politics, and even archives of interviews from years past. Find the podcast that you love and subscribe everywhere you get podcasts.
Campaign cash is flowing on Lisa Brady. Fox News, 22 days to Election Day. About $60 million is being spent every weekday by both parties combined on ads alone.
Generally speaking, Democrats, especially in the Senate and the presidential race, are outspending Republicans by hundreds of millions of dollars. And contrary to Vice President Harris' ads, she has more billionaires than Trump. In fundraising, Harris has a 2-to-1 edge over Trump, outspending him in 12 of the last 13 weeks.
Fox's William Lajeunesse. Nationally, the race remains nearly a dead heat in recent polls, while former President Trump leads the Real Clear Politics average in 6 of 7 battleground states, also by very tight margins. Both Harris and Trump campaign in Pennsylvania today. Over the weekend, a man was arrested with guns at a checkpoint outside a Trump rally in California.
The Riverside County Sheriff in California, Chad Bianco, he says 49-year-old suspect Vem Miller. They looked inside of his car and they found an illegal loaded handgun and shotgun, a high-capacity magazine, multiple passports and driver's licenses in various names. His license plate was also fake. Miller was arrested on state misdemeanor weapons charges and then released. Now, the Secret Service says Miller never got to their security perimeter and the former president was not in danger. The feds are not calling it a third assassination attempt, but the investigation is ongoing.
Fox's Brian Yanes, the suspect, tells Fox News Digital he's a Trump supporter and has never fired a gun. Rapper Sean Diddy Combs facing a new wave of lawsuits, at least 6 filed today by 2 women and 4 men over allegations of sexual misconduct. Combs remains in jail, facing federal charges of sex trafficking and other counts, which he denies. One of the new accusers says the hip-hop star molested him when he was 16, the first allegation involving a child. America is listening to...
Hear that? The soothing sounds of a bubble bath. And if you were here, you'd smell a single cedar leaf candle. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. So if you ride, get back on the road and enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance from Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. And then take a shower, because it's fast, like your motorcycle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Roadside assistance may require comprehensive coverage. Not available in all states.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation welcomed U.S. Army Specialist Brent Menard into a new mortgage-free smart home in Florida. Now, while on a road clearance mission in Afghanistan, Brent's vehicle was blown up by an improvised explosive device. Brent became a T4 paraplegic. Tunnel to Towers built him a specially adapted smart home that allows severely injured heroes like Brett to live more independently. We hope you'll donate $11 a month so this great work can continue. Just go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Look out. Whew. That was close. Look at, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. How's it going? 303. With Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire, and the mechanical mangler at the controls. It's Flounder. It's freaking Monday, man. I'm definitely not feeling it. I know Columbus Day and the poisoner of the world, and here we go. Anyway, 303, here's the number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Is this a state? It's a federal holiday. Is this a state holiday? Are state workers off today? It was lighter traffic coming in, but not particularly vacation traffic. So I was going to look it up and I forgot this morning whether we actually have a state holiday. I don't know.
Do Italian restaurants close on this day?
I can't imagine that. No, we're going to talk a lot about that and the issues of it, and you'll hear Carmela's side piece on her views about the racist America and everything else. But first of all, and by the way, we have I'm kind of calling an audible unbelievable here. Flounder sent the video, 2 different stories over the weekend, and when I opened to my phone to text Pete and me, and when I opened my phone, I said it was Elon Musk and a space shot thing, and when I first just saw the thing, I said, "Oh, what the hell? Big deal. What's it?" And I realized, oh my God, what a freaking accomplishment just happened in space. I mean, unbelievable. And when I saw the video, I mean, it's just astounding that this one guy has done all this. Cars and robots and space and free speech. And I mean, it's unbelievable. Anyway, so we'll talk some about that. But most of honestly, we have, I could do 3 hours with all of us here just on politics. So you're going to hear a lot of sound bites and a lot of stuff. And again, it's important because you have to know what these people are like. And again, the media got called out repeatedly over the weekend. It's just astounding. I mean, Martha Raddatz got caught again. Kirsten, whatever, Welker got caught again. I mean, it's just amazing, these people. And also, coming up on Wednesday, I guess he's going to tape it earlier in the day, or maybe even today or tomorrow, I don't know. But Brett Baer is doing an interview with Kamala's side piece. And I guess it's just the two of them. And so that'll be pretty interesting. I hope to God that he does the follow-up questions. For example, he's going to say, why did you change your mind on fracking? She's going to say, well, it turns out that the fracking will be able to allow us to be able to so-and-so and the so-and-so. And it's good for marriage, da-da-da-da-da. If he doesn't use her quotes where she said in the past, you said fracking was immoral. You said fracking was bad for the environment. You said, all the things she said was so dangerous about fracking. What changed? How come it's okay for us now? I mean, just specific stuff like that. Anyway, we'll get to that. We have a lot of political stuff and a lot more entertaining than I just described it, by the way. Including some hopefully humorous bits, including even Saturday Night Live. Did you hear the Saturday Night Live bit? Very amusing. And they're doing it again. I mean, the Democrats must be going nuts on the sidelines trying to tell them to probably just stop it. Anyway, first of all, 306, Kim, Pete, and Flounder. Happy Monday. And boy, talk about that crispy weather. Holy crap. I mean, oh my God. I went out to get the paper this morning about 5:30 in the morning. That's like I'm getting out of here fast. Yowie. Anyway, first of all, Pete Davis, weekend activities, happiness, goodness, a lot of football, obviously, and sports and baseball play and stuff like that. Well, how was your weekend? What's new? Anything?
Another beautiful weekend spent on the couch, basically, watching football, which is always a mistake. There's going to be frost on the pumpkin tomorrow morning, by the way. It's going to be cold tomorrow morning. And now next weekend, it's Texas, Georgia. I'll tell you what, if you've seen Texas and even that quarterback who just got back in again because he'd been hurt, and he would look pretty bad. He did a couple of bad, but these guys look good, man. This Texas team looks. Georgia can go there and beat Texas, then they're back on track.
They're back on track.
But Texas, to me, right now is the team to beat.
Yeah, they just seem to have it above everybody. Anyway, we'll talk about it coming up. Holy crap, it's sports coming up a little after 5 o'clock here today. Also, Falcons. You gotta hand it to them. I mean, and they're scoring points, and anyway, it's kind of cool. And finally, our running backs getting a touchdown here and there, and the tight ends. I'll be damned.
Hey, there's actually 2 good running backs back here. Maybe we should use them.
Let's go. Yeah, London. I mean, also, we got weapons. Jeez, so good. We're happy. We're not being negative.
And a tight end. Yeah. They discovered a tight end.
Yeah, they got 2 all of a sudden. Actually, is London a tight end? I guess.
Who?
Isn't it London or Louder?
Drake London is the big wide receiver.
Yeah, but he's like a tight end. I mean, he's as good as a tight end. Yeah, he's a Anyway, 308, Kim, Pete, and Flounder. Flounder, your weekend, sir, with Miss Veronica.
Actually, it was funny. Veronica's been sick. She's kind of got some kind of little cold or allergy infection.
Oh, no.
And it was Friday evening when we got back. She asked me, she was like, can you go get me the NyQuil? And I went and got it, and I thought it'd be nice, and I put it in there for her, and even took me a little swig.
Oh, yeah?
And woke up the next morning, and she went to the kitchen. She's like, babe, is this what you got me? It's DayQuil. I didn't sleep any night.
One's red,
to stay
one's
active
green.
during the night. You'll never sleep again.
And not only that, because the NyQuil has the antihistamine in it, and she was like, that's what she wanted because that helps you sleep. And she was like, is this what you gave me?
That was an accident, dear.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you accidentally put some antifreeze in it, too.
Make it green.
Yeah. Tastes a little funny, dear. Well, that's true. Well, I hope she's better.
Yeah, she's starting to feel better.
Okay, that's all. Well, that's a good thing. Anyway.
And real quick, we got Adam on the line. He wanted to talk about Columbus Day.
Excellent. Adam, you're on the radio. Happy Monday. Welcome aboard. What do you think, sir?
Hey, guys. Good afternoon. Semper Fi. Yeah, so I want to talk about Columbus Day and how over the last, I guess, 10, 15 years, it's been a negative aspect on it. But here's the thing. Before Columbus and the Europeans ever reached the New World, the natives treated each other with savagery, with conquering each other, slavery. Yeah. The atrocities they did to each other makes ISIS looks like amateurs. And another thing, too, even in what's now the United States, the Comanche, what they did to other tribes. So if they want to teach about what Columbus did to the natives, fine, but teach the whole damn thing. That's my issue.
Adam, I appreciate it. And again, I mean, if you read some of the, I think was it Hanta Yo? Was that the famous book of Indian history and so forth? In fact, it must have been in the 60s or 70s. And it was very critically reviewed because it told the truth about some of the savagery and the games they would play and the brutality of tribes against each other. And
our book, the Mayflower book from Nathaniel Philbrick, points out what was going on before and after the Pilgrims showed up.
Yeah. Adam, you're absolutely right. And again, the other thing is, too, when they talk about diseases, he brought disease and he destroyed the thing. Okay, let's remember thing. It was freaking 1600s. I mean, give me a break. It wasn't that long ago when companies, including all the famous companies, GE, Ford, Westinghouse, I mean, any manufacturing company used to take their PCBs and their toxic chemicals and pour them in the nearest stream. They dumped them out in the back and rivers. Nobody knew any different. They thought, boy, the water's going to wash its way into the ocean. Nobody will be any different. Everything will be fine. It's just watered down and everything. Well, nobody knew until they said, oh, my God, well, look what we've been doing. So give a little break to the fact that history freaking changes. Jeez. Anyway, they're just looking for another thing. Not everything is a thing. That was before. Columbus was really way before. Okay, that's not life now. So anyway, good Lord. 312. Can I do one personal thing quick? I put this on Facebook, and I'm kind of embarrassed because, I don't deserve accolades. I don't look at myself like maybe. I got a package in the mail today when I came to work, and inside was a very nice letter and a picture, and I put it on YouTube and my Facebook page of Wild Weasel from 1966 in Vietnam, a pilot doing good things for the war effort. And a note says, Kimber, remembering the New Georgia Railroad train odyssey to Athens several years ago for the Auburn UGA game. Oh, my God. That was the final wife thing. And I went to, with Robert, Colonel Robert, by the way, of the Patriot Guard, an official airborne Tiger, and he invited us to go along and do this train ride. They had it from Atlanta to Athens, and you had a little buffet thing on the train ride to the football game, Georgia-Auburn game, and then they take the train ride back to underground or wherever the hell we got off. And the problem was the train ride was brutal. I mean, it went about 7 miles an hour, clunking and clanking. I mean, it wasn't what we were expecting, but the company was great. Robert was great, and what a treat it was, and a nice thing for him to do. And he sent me a picture of himself back in 1966 in his Air Force uniform. The colonel, 26 years old in Vietnam. Colonel Robert. He works for the Patriot Guard, which I used to belong to. When I had my motorcycles. Anyway, he says, "Standard Bearer of Excellence, respectfully, the official airborne Tiger." And the cool part was. Again, I'm sorry for being so personal about this, but I just really, he sent me 2 challenge coins. Those are the big coins that, you can, they're units and military and other places too, companies do it, but military coins. And this one is, let's see, the U.S. Special Operations Command challenge coin, which is really cool. And then the one that says, the task ahead of you is never as great as the power behind you. Anyway, Robert the Colonel, thank you so much. I'm honored, flattered, and what a way to start the week. Just very kind. And hoorah and Semper Fi, and welcome home to you too, my friend. And God bless America. Boy, we could use that today with what the hell's going on with these leftists. And now all that's coming up, by the way, with the Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, 404-7. Happy Monday.
Stream
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, Glenn Beck, Fox News, and even NASCAR on Sundays. Anywhere on the Extra 106.3 app. Download the app now and get 24/7 access to the live stream, the latest news, and everything you need to know about Atlanta's only conservative talk station. Download the Extra 106.3 app for Apple or Android and check out even more great original content at thepodcastpark.com.
Hey, Jimmy, what's going on?
Oh, hey, Bobby. It's kind of embarrassing. I'm having deck problems.
You're having deck problems?
Hey, keep it down. It's embarrassing.
Now, look, there's plenty of guys in the neighborhood with deck problems. What's the matter with yours?
Well, it's small and old compared to yours.
All right, let's not make this a deck measuring competition. You just need to call Excavations. They've seen decks of all sizes, shapes, and colors. Good news is Excavations can build you a sweet new deck that you'll love to show off to your friends and neighbors. Don't worry, Jimmy. We're going to get you some big deck energy.
Hi, this is Candace with Excavations, and have I got a tip for you. Don't feel ashamed of your deck. Excavations can build an outdoor living space that you'll be proud of. And with our Exavision, we'll be able to show you your home's transformation before you even begin the work. Keep the HOA off your deck and give us a call today for decks, windows, siding, roofing, and more. Or visit us at exovations.com to get inspired.
Are you planning for your big day? Are you picking out the venue, the cake, the menu, the dress, the tux? And you can't forget about those wedding bands. Well, you're in luck because Wedding Band Weekend is back at Solomon Brothers Jewelers. October 25th through the 27th is the best time to save big on those wedding bands that you'll say I do with. During Wedding Band Weekend at Solomon Brothers Jewelers, when you buy her band, you get his for free. And to make your purchase even easier, we're offering 60 months interest-free financing on all of the top wedding band designers in the industry. That's 5 years to not worry about paying for those beautiful rings that symbolize your commitment. And remember, no matter the price, you'll find something nice. So come visit us October 25th through the 27th to shop for your wedding bands in Buckhead on Peachtree Road, Alpharetta Old Milton Parkway, and Sharpsburg on Highway 34 and Fisher Road, or online at SolomonBrothers.com.
My fellow Americans, our yards are in troubled times. Unwanted weeds are crossing fence lines across our great nation, and we need to put a stop to it. No more college football Saturdays spent mowing the lawn. No, sir. Let's turf it with ultra-premium artificial grass from ATL Turf Co. They're Atlanta and North Georgia's first choice for premium turf solutions, from incredible lawns to custom putting greens. Let's make your yard great again with a free consultation at atlturfco.com.
Have you considered securing your family's future, protecting your hard-earned assets, navigating complex legal matters with ease? Nelson Elder Care Law is here to guide and empower you and your loved ones. As a family-owned and family-focused business, our mission is to exceed your expectations, offering absolute assurance and peace of mind. With our trademarked Absolute Protection Trust and expertise in customized estate planning, Medicaid crisis solutions, probate administration, guardianship, and conservatorship, Nelson Elder Care Law protects what matters most to you. Imagine a team dedicated to safeguarding your legacy every step of the way. Our flat fees ensure transparency, and our customized plans prioritize your family's specific needs. Are you worried about protecting your family and your legacy after you're gone? Let us help you ensure you're absolutely protected from whatever curveballs life may throw your way. Schedule a complimentary legacy planning meeting with our legal team in Marietta or Woodstock today. Contact us at 678-250-9355 or visit at nelsoneldercarelaw.com.
All right, look out. 318, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Here we go. Friggin' Monday. Hey, Bella. All right. I love to tease her. She hates me. That's our sweet Bella, who works with Amanda. She just started a few months ago, and with our social media department, it's an official department. And Bella's a young girl, and she's cool and sweet and different and weird, and she's obviously a screaming liberal. And every time I start screaming, she just one who does the video of me when I do the what's coming up they put on YouTube. And she hates coming in here because I start, making fun of the Democrats, and you can see her just squeezing, trying not to react to it, the poor thing. Anyway, I love Bella. She's just funny and cool and weird. She's a weird. These young chicks, man. They're just a whole new thing. Honest to God, if I were like 23, 24, 25 years old, I don't know what the hell I'd do. I don't think I'd know how to relate to women in their 20s. Seriously. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how you doing? 319 now, and this is Tom Petty, 2007 on this day. The Tom Petty documentary film, Running Down a Dream, made its debut at New York Film Festival. 4-hour documentary chronicled the history of Tom Petty from its inception as Mud Crunch right up to its 30th anniversary concert in Petty's hometown of Gainesville, Florida in 2006. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Phone calls take priority. To the phones, Robert. Happy Monday. You're on the radio, man. What do you think? What's up?
Yeah, hello, happy Monday.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to remind everybody here that the Native American tribes before 1492 consisted of Stone Age cultures, which is okay. They had Stone Age implements, meaning, rock.
Yeah.
But you see, they had three sources of energy. They had themselves the slaves, they had themselves the dogs, and they had themselves the women. And of the three, the dogs and the slaves were treated better than the women. So I really don't see all the advantages there that they had of this nice environment-free place where you had to go chew your deer hide by the women to make clothing.
Yeah, maybe there wasn't a lot of pollution back then, but I think there were probably other negatives that may not have been exactly pro-female back in the day or pro-civilization or anything else. I don't know.
But just something to think of right there next time you're trying to rub raw brains over your deer hide to soften the leather.
Thank you, Robert. Read up a little Indian history. And again, I by the way, I'm a baby boomer, so I grew up on Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett on TV, and I had a coonskin cap, and I never missed the show with Fess Parker and all that stuff. So I always thought that in a former life I was a Sioux Indian warrior. I have Indian things I bought on an Indian reservation in 60 years ago. War clubs and a tomahawk. I gave my daughter a dream catcher that a Sioux Indian reservation made by. Anyway, I have an affinity just somewhere inside me for whatever reason. I've always rooted for the Indians in the movies and stuff. So I don't want to make. Obviously, nobody's trying to make this. We hate the American Indian business, and I still say American Indian. I try now to say Native American Indian if that makes it a little easier instead of saying indigenous. No one's ever used that word until someone said, "Oh, well, Indian's offensive." No, it's not. They have the Indian Museum. Everything is Indian in Indian territory. I don't know.
I've gone to the point where I try and find out what tribe they're at because I don't like calling them Indians. They're not Native Americans because America was a term coined afterwards. Yeah. And I hate the word indigenous. So they're Creek, they're Cherokee, they're Chickasaw, they're Sioux.
That's
whatever.
The best way. Yeah. I always, if I'm going to say it, I say Native American Indians just to try to make it easier. But anyway, whatever. And again, by the way, people, we're trying. Okay, nobody knows what to say anymore. What the hell? I don't want to go around worrying I'm offending somebody because I use the freaking word Indian. It was cowboys and Indians. Give me a break. My whole freaking life. Let's go play cowboys and Indians, not cowboys and indigenous people from the native world of yesteryear. Anyway, sorry. Really give me a freaking break. Yeah, jeez. God, I think it's going to be. I don't think God is going to send me to hell for using the word Indian. And by the way, I mean no respect. I am an Indian. So there. Not. Anyway, well, in my heart, I am. In fact, I have no middle initial. My name is Kim Peterson. That's it. And my driver's license, I don't know if it still does. It used to say NMI. And for years, when I got my license, I would tell my friends that was an old Sioux Indian because my relatives were Indian. And that's from Nimi tribe. So.
As my Cuban friend likes to say, all you gringos say you're Indian.
Well, now remember, all Cubans are from Haiti, but not all Haitians are Cuban. So you have to remember that.
Do not say that. Do not say that. That will get you knifed. Justifiably so. Cut from stem to stern. They'll show you your innards before you die.
I love throwing stuff like that out there and see how people react to it. Wait a minute, I didn't know that.
Well, you know what? It's Columbus Day, and you haven't done the little poem that you always tell people about how to remember Columbus.
Oh, well, this is very simple. And then little boys and girls, again, you have your kids in the car coming home from school. This is what, in case it comes up again tomorrow, this is a way to remember the history for Christopher Columbus. In 1493, Columbus sailed the deep blue sea. There you are.
There you go.
That's a way to remember it forever and ever. 324. Our birthday list includes John Dean. Former White House advisor said there was a cancer on the presidency. His little hottie, blonde, white-haired wife, Mo Dean, pulled her hair back tight as a bun
Blonde.
thing back there. Hot, chubby, really sweet. Yeah, but and she, I think she kind of, convinced him to do the right thing, kind of deal. She seemed to be a nice, supportive.
Was it the right thing?
Yeah.
Though?
Well, I don't know.
Was it the right?
Well,
because the country just basically went off the rails after Nixon left.
Yeah.
So let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Anyway, John Dean, 86 years old. Oh, and I got a double whammy here. I Googled thing on history. I thought this was a really cool thing, history today. I got to do my Google.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Nixon was run out of office for things the Democrats do before lunch every day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, think about that. And they say, it's worse than Watergate. My ass. Watergate was nothing compared to what's been going on for the last 8 years. The phony Russian collusion, the hookers peeing on them, and, the Hilton in Moscow or whatever, the phony collusion business, the Hunter laptop was not real. I mean, all this stuff. Good Lord. Anyway, on this day in history, it was 1947. Chuck Yeager, Air Force captain, born in West Virginia, combat fighter during World War II, flew 64 missions over Europe. He shot down 13 German planes, and Chuck Yeager himself was shot down over France, but he escaped the capture with the assistance of the French underground. He was one of the volunteers to test that new experimental X-1 rocket built by Bell Aircraft. No one believed you could fly faster than the speed of sound, figuring the transonic drag rise would tear the aircraft apart when the air molecules caught up. On this day, 1947, Yeager flew the X-1 over Rogers Dry Lake in Southern California. He was lifted to 25,000 feet by a B-29, then released through the bomb bay, rocketing to 40,000 feet and up almost 700 miles an hour, the sound barrier at that altitude. The rocket plane was nicknamed Glamorous Glennis after Yeager's wife. It was designed with thin, unswept wings, streamlined, modeled after a .50 caliber bullet. And the flight, by the way, was secret. It was leaked to the press a couple of months later. And by the way, I heard and read the article about it this morning, or actually it was last night. And there were 2 booms. There were actually 2 sonic booms, and the people on the ground thought, oh, my God, I hope that's a good thing, because honestly, they thought it was going to explode, the aircraft. They thought the aircraft would blow apart. So what a moment, 1947 on this date, Chuck Yeager. And, the right stuff had a lot of it in there here for him, too.
Great movie.
327, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230. Well, we got a lot of politics, but again, before we start that, I really haven't paid much attention to space. I mean, in 1969, when I was, came home from the Marines and was at Arizona State going back to school, and they had in 69, 70, had the moon landing for the first time, that early year stuff. But I really haven't watched a lot of space stuff really since the days of Walter Cronkite with Wally Schirra at the anchor desk talking about the space shots and stuff. But man, this damn thing with the mechanical SpaceX arms catching the Starship rocket booster, Elon Musk. Holy crap. If you haven't seen that video, I mean, it was astounding. When Flounder sent it to me over the weekend, I thought, there's another. And I looked at it and said, oh, my God. I mean, oh, my God. It caught the damn thing from space. It just, joink. I mean, holy criminy. And I mean, they're saying that this means they caught the rocket. They caught the rocket. Screaming and jumping for joy. It means it's going to change the possibility of space travel. And I mean...
And Kamala's running an ad saying Donald Trump just wants to hang out with his billionaire friends, and they show Elon Musk as if that's kind of a burn.
Good.
Every red-blooded man in the world wants to hang out with Elon Musk.
She should be trying to hang out with Elon Musk and learn some things and have him be part of it. Oh, my God, that's the first thing I would have done is try to grant him in my administration. Oh, Lord, these idiots. I mean, but what an accomplishment. Honestly, if you haven't seen the video, it's just unbelievable. And by the way, one more space thing, and then we're going to do an awful lot of politics and sound bites. And if you have not heard Bill Clinton's voice lately, he sounds like he's dead. I mean, he sounds like he can't move. Anyway, and Carmelo. We got a whole bunch of things. Saturday Night Live. We got sound up to Baganga today. But first, a NASA filmmaker, a science filmmaker named Simon Holland, says we have found a non-human extraterrestrial intelligence in our galaxy and people don't know about it. He's been in contact with Mark Zuckerberg's Breakthrough Listen, a privately funded scientific research program to find evidence of civilizations beyond Earth. And guess what? They found evidence of non-human technological signature a few years ago using the Parkes telescope in Australia to find transmissions, evidence from another world. They hope to announce a discovery within the next month. The Chinese are aware of the coordinates of the target object known as BLC-1, competing with Oxford-based project to be the first to publish the announcement. It appears to come from a single point source. It's a radio wave signal initially detected 2019 from the Australia-based telescope. The signal appeared from a region around the star 4 light years from Earth. Howland says the most significant clue about this radio wave is it appeared to be coming from a planet orbiting a distant star and had a Doppler shift. That means it's coming from what appears to be a rotating planet, which he believes would not come from a piece of human interference. The problem is the aliens weren't saying, "Hi, we're here." The aliens probably just buzzing if that's what they're doing with their normal life. He stresses that whatever the source of the signals, it's unlike any known natural phenomenon. You know it's true. And by the way, this is you can still believe in God and think that he made, the Adam and Eve stuff if you want to. But he could have done a lot of things. This could be part of his plan to bring us all together. What do we know? What the hell? It's infinity, baby. So you can still be a religious person and think there's other things out there. My God, don't be an idiot. 331. Look who's talking. Can't repeat and Flounder. Shut up. The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's a camera. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
Another assassin tried to kill the former president. Why 2 attempts in the last couple of months? Well, could it possibly be because of the way Donald Trump's opponents and his media arm are talking about him?
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Are you looking for something simple but delicious, sweet but also savory? Discover Schumann Farms Sweet Onions. Schumann Farms is a 3rd-generation family farm with the Real Sweet brand and Mr. Buck's brand sweet onions. Each brand brings savory, sweet deliciousness to every meal. Whether you're grilling, sautéing, or simply adding a fresh crunch to your salad, Schumann Farms has you covered. Look for Schumann Farms Real Sweet brand and your Mr. Buck's brand sweet onions at your grocery store and taste the difference for yourself. Schumann Farms, the Georgia family farm growing tradition and the world's sweetest onions. Hey sandwich lovers, today's your lucky day. There's a whole new way to roll for lunch or dinner delight with Nucky's Hoagies in the Roswell Corners Shopping Center. Now open. Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell is family owned and operated by the Sub-Sisters, Stacy and Shannon, whose love language is food and Nucky's Hoagies, their passion. When you bite into a Nucky's Hoagie, you'll taste the difference. The softest hoagie rolls ever, along with hunger-quenching sandwich combinations. Make Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell on Woodstock Road your new favorite spot for lunch or dinner.
You have enough to deal with after an accident. You don't want to spend a lot of that time messing around with insurance companies. Besides, what are you going to say to them? You really know the ins and outs? David Van Sant at Van Sant Law does. He used to work for the insurance companies. Their worst nightmare. He knows who to call, what to say, how to listen to them, and he has your best interest at heart. Van Sant Law, 855-GA-INJURY. VanSantLaw.com, 855-GA-INJURY.
As an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, the Warrior Alliance connects warriors and their families to free services such as health and wellness, housing, employment, education, legal services, and so much more. We need your financial support to increase our impact and change thousands of lives for those who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. It takes more than just thank you for your service. Make a donation to help warriors navigate to success after service. Go to thewarrioralliance.org/donate and make a difference today.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. You need a safe. You just don't know it. And it's Gun Safe Month at the Safe House. Gun sales are at an all-time high. Wherever you store your guns or most prized possessions. Don't let a fire or break-in wipe away years of hard work or destroy items that can't be replaced. Secure your valuables in a quality safe from Atlanta Safe House. With over 500 safes in stock, Atlanta Safe House offers the best selection of gun and home safes in the Southeast, and there's no waiting on a safe. Go to atlantasafehouse.com. That's atlantasafehouse.com.
Central Heating and Air Conditioning wants you to know the start of the new season is the perfect time to ensure your home's comfort for the fall and winter. Don't wait like most people do to have your HVAC system serviced. Your home should have maintenance twice a year. Maintenance helps keep your furnace running at peak efficiency and extends the life of your equipment. Turn to the experts for your system's maintenance at 770-GET-HEAT or centralheat.com. Central Heating and Air Conditioning can fix what ails your house and possibly your family with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speed, fresh air ventilation, air cleaners, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Carrier products, carrier warranty, and carrier peace of mind. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert since 1947 and one of the few second-generation locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. Call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Tune into your new favorite show that's redefining the A to Z's of marketing, The Marketing Madmen. We'll take you behind the scenes of successful campaigns and reveal the strategies that win. We're not just talking about marketing, we're making it happen. From viral content creation to leveraging AI for customer engagement, our experts bring you to the cutting edge of industry. This is your playbook for market dominance. Tune in and transform your approach with actionable tips that could skyrocket your ROI. The Marketing Madmen every Saturday at 4 p.m. right here on XTRA 106.3.
350 at 3:36. I got the clock there, the thing there. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Pete Davis, Flounder. Happy Monday. Eric Clapton on this day in 2004. Eric Clapton was suspended from driving in France, the whole damn country, after they caught him speeding 134 miles an hour in his Porsche. It was a Porsche 911 Turbo near Marseille in Francais. He was given a $500 fine. His British license was confiscated. After paying the fine, Clapton posed for photographs with French police, then left the scene in his Porsche, and his secretary was driving it. So, there you go. 3:36, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Birthdays include Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren is 85. And it says here, fashion designer who's not to be confused with Kenny the Copy Guy. So I guess Ralph Lauren, 85 years old. There you are. And on this day in history, hold on, my phone went out. I got to get my phone there because I got a story about the cheating, lying vice president. On this day in history, 1879. Thomas Alva Edison, suspected of funding those experiments to club baby seals just for the fun video, files a patent for the improvement in electric lights on this day in 1879. His first successful test of the electric light was a few days later, and the bulb lasted 13 and a half hours. And to check the theory of heat transfer, Edison pressed the white-hot bulb into the bellies of baby kittens. Once again, just for the fun video. So 1879, that wacky Edison. What a card. What a cut up. 3:38, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Okay, here we go. Well, for the record, the guy arrested outside the Trump Coachella rally. I mean, first of all, he's got to be a nut of some kind. But again, he may be a nut who's innocent. It doesn't know. I mean,
no, he's got multiple passports.
Well, yeah, but here's what it said. I mean, I read all this stuff. Okay, hold on a second.
He's up to no good. He's got a fake license plate.
Wait. Here we go. Hold on a second. Miller says he's Armenian, and the documents that use his full...
Say no more.
And Armenian documents that use his full Armenian name and documents that don't, because using those documents in some places around the world could get him killed, referring to campaigns over the centuries to murder Armenians. That's why he has foreign documents that are his name in Armenian language. He addressed the Riverside County Sheriff saying he was part of a sovereign citizens movement. He said, that's nonsense. I don't even know what that is. I don't support it, don't know what it is. I'm not part of any such thing. They're saying I'm part of these right-wing anti-government groups. Well, how come they're not naming them? Because they don't exist. He says these accusations are complete bullshit. I'm an artist. I'm the last person who would cause any violence or harm to anybody. I don't know anything about guns. I've never shot a gun. He's never fired the guns he keeps in his truck in the back of his truck. Anyway, so I just a bizarre story. They say he wasn't a threat to Trump, and it was not assassination attempt. And because he's Armenian and he's done a lot of things in Hollywood, he does actor stuff, and he says he's in the media for 30 years. I don't know. But anyway, why the hell would you go to a Trump rally with a truck full of guns? I mean, you're just asking for it. Anyway, okay, 339. Cut number one coming up here, Flounder. Here we go. It is Columbus Day, and Donald Trump pointed out that it wasn't that long ago when Carmela's side piece, who wants to be your latex salesman, did a video promising basically to get rid of Columbus Day and changing it all. And Donald Trump has now released her comments. This is, I believe, from 2019. Flounder, if you will, cut number one. Is he in there? There you go. Here we go. Cut number one.
Sit tight. This thing's acting up.
Oh, crap. That's right. I don't. It's not your fault. Again, I don't care. We don't have no such thing as mistakes. Just live action here. She was recognizing Indigenous Peoples Day at a speech of the National Congress of American Indians, which, by the way, it says here. I'm sorry. Here we
go. It's working now.
All right, here we go.
It is an honor, of course, to be with you this week as we celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day, as we speak truth about our nation's history. Since 1934, every October, the United States has recognized the voyage of the European explorers who first landed on the shores of the Americas. But that is not the whole story. That has never been the whole story. Those explorers ushered in a wave of devastation for tribal nations, perpetrating violence, stealing land, and spreading disease. We must not shy away from this shameful past, and we must shed light on it and do everything we can to address the impact of the past on Native communities today.
Isn't it funny how the Democrats always focus on the bad part of American history and they never talk about the good part of American history?
Yeah. Not only is she
bad.
Yeah, and Trump campaign react obviously that she wants to raise taxes, defund the police, cancel American traditions like Columbus Day. Donald Trump will make Columbus Day a great legacy, honor to protect the holiday from radical leftists who want to erase our history. Again, they want to erase our history. I mean, you put up a plaque if you don't like the way it, say, boy, there were bad people too. I mean, give me a break. You don't just pretend it didn't happen. Well, it's not.
When was the last time you heard a Democrat like her praise something that happened in American history? The fact that we saved the world 3 times in the 20th century alone.
Yeah. And by the way, what other country in the world, and world history, as far as we can go back and nobody, what other country in the world has done more for the peace in the world or more for the other citizens of the world than America?
We're the only country in the world that had the ability to destroy the rest of the world and take it over and didn't do it.
Right. We let them have. We stopped the war, saved the planet, and then said, "Go live." You Germans can have Germany, Russia can have Russia. I mean, we didn't take their land. We could have taken them all.
We'd assaulted the earth.
In fact,
they never rise again.
George Patton wanted to go right to freaking Moscow. Remember that? He said, "We'll get them all. Get the Ruskies too." And by God, he should have. He should have done it. We could have had everything. We could have owned Europe. Sorry.
Well,
no, maybe.
Do you want to?
No, I wouldn't want to. How could you control the whole freaking continent? I mean, why would you want to? You couldn't control the world. It wouldn't be possible.
The Marshall Plan, the feeding of Europe twice
we saved
after
them.
the First and Second World War. We fed them.
Yeah, we saved their lives. The millions of people, because of us, we saved them. We saved the freaking planet.
Never hear the Democrats talk about that. It's always we're bad, 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 bad.
I freaking hate these people, I swear to God. And now and by the way, here's something new in case you didn't, I broke on the news this afternoon. Just in, Carmela's side piece plagiarized entire sections of her book called Smart on Crime. Published in 2009, it features entire sections copied from sources including Wikipedia. A famed plagiarism hunter got the wind of this thing, and here, for example, Christopher Russo published details of the thing on Substack today. The report shows that Carmela copied verbatim content from Wikipedia, Goodwill Industries. Her partner on Back on Track crime program, other sources. Scrolling down, she included extensive sections from the John Jay College of Criminal Justice press release. She lifted an entire section of text from the Associated Press story about low graduation rates. She had language copied directly from a Bureau of Justice assistant's report on crime statistics, triggering response from Donald Trump. Carmela, my God, laughed my ass off. Didn't even write her own book. Yikes, more evidence. Carmela's a fraud. The plagiarism accusations derail a political candidate, but they're not going to derail her. Joe Biden, remember, in 1987, was copying that British Labour Party guy and got about law school, and he was accused of plagiarism in law school. Joe Biden we're talking about, and then plagiarism on the campaign trail. He had to stop running for president because they caught him. Well, we caught Carmela. So I guess she should stop running for president. Yeah, right. Anyway. But again, they caught her. She's a freaking plagiarist, and you can look at the words. I mean, it's word for word. It's not a mistake.
Well,
and by the way,
she got it honest.
I think I heard the guys before us were saying Buck and Clint there. I think we're saying something like, chances are that she didn't even write any of it. She probably had an intern or somebody.
Or a ghostwriter.
Ghostwriters, yeah. And, it's like when I almost had to get my PhD at Michigan State when I got my master's. And when you do that, you have all your staff people and you're working for the professors and stuff, and everybody else does your work for you. Or the research work and putting it all together. And anyway, so you can't trust this woman. By the way, also it's 3:45 already. Holy crap. Let me mention a couple things here, Flounder, and then we'll take a quick break and then some more sound. You're going to hear, if you haven't heard Bill Clinton lately, holy crap. All right, first of all, your vice president, shiftless and lazy, wants to legalize recreational marijuana for black people to start voting for her. She has plans now to give forgivable business loans for black guys who want to start a business. We'll give you a loan, you black guys, but if you screw up the business, you don't have to pay it back. Gee, what does that sound like? If you vote for me, I'm going to give you money to start a business that you don't have to pay back in case you big. Boy, the first thing, I swear to God, the first thing if I were a brother that I would do is apply to start a business. I'll take my $100,000, please, and then you start a business to sell pencils for $100 a piece. And I'll be damned, you go out of business. You only sold 0 pencils, so your company folded, but you get to keep the $100,000 loan.
Yeah.
What a freaking crock. Jeez, and 346. Give her Pete and Flounder. Mercy.
The left-wing media is pushing counterfeit polls and bogus headlines, all while ignoring the stories that matter most. Trust the conservative voice of Atlanta for the real truth without the media spin. The Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, The Kimmer Show, Jesse Kelly, and the voices you need most are all on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
It's going to be an interesting couple of months right here on Extra 106.3.
Hurricane Helene, a chemical plant fire, port strikes, Iranian attacks. These recent events remind us how critical it is to be prepared. While panic buying has led to shortages of some products, True Prep still has inventory on hand, with more arriving soon. Don't wait until disaster strikes. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow. And if you're unsure where to start, True Prep's knowledgeable staff is here to assist. Visit True Prep in Marietta on Cobb Parkway or online at trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com.
Hey, it's Megan Poole with Southern Exteriors, and it's fall, y'all, and those leaves are starting to drop. Now it's time to get your home ready with Southern Exteriors. Whether it's cleaning out your gutters, adding gutter covers, or both, Southern Exteriors has got you covered. Plus, with any gutter cleaning job, you'll get a free roof inspection, so don't wait. Call Southern Exteriors today at 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. Southern Exteriors, quality and precision you can rely on.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see board-certified physicians in with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Bronies, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
Looking for bold discussions on vital issues? Tune in to The Janelle King Show every Saturday at 3 p.m. with an encore episode every Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on XTRA 106.3, where we dive into kitchen table topics that are essential for a strong republic. Don't miss an episode, but if you do, it's all good because we have new podcasts that drop every Tuesday on the Podcast Park or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss out on these thought-provoking conversations.
D. Geller & Son Jewelers is celebrating 85 years in Atlanta this month. It's been an honor to be your hometown family jeweler since 1939. Founded as the South's first diamond and jewelry wholesaler, D. Geller & Son brings those quality standards and that unbeatable pricing to the comfort of your neighborhood jewelry store. D. Geller & Son is still 100% family-owned and operated, and we love our community. That's why we have trained jewelers you can trust in every store for professional, reliable service on site. It's why we have Atlanta's best lifetime care plan for free, covering everything from ring sizing to diamond upgrades. And most importantly, it's why we're committed to find or design the perfect piece of jewelry for your most special moments. No matter the budget, you can be confident D. Geller & Son Jewelry is the best quality and value you can find. It's going to last, and they're going to love it. There's no jeweler in Atlanta like D. Geller & Son, and that's why we've been Atlanta's most trusted jeweler since 1939. Come celebrate 85 years with us in Atlanta, Kennesaw, or Sandy Springs, and read our story online at dgeller.com.
Most tax pros leave a message.
It's Jane. I'm moving on to a TurboTax expert who beat your price. Adam Devine, tell him how I feel.
The tax pro, she's been thinking twice. Best believe TurboTax will beat your price. This is a tax rate.
Switch to a TurboTax Live expert and we'll beat what you paid your pro last tax season. Make the switch at TurboTax.com/beatyourprice. TurboTax full service only. Sign up by 12/20/2024 and file by 4/1/2025. Full details at TurboTax.com/beatyourprice.
Tim Walsh, war hero, hunter. Coming up, 3:51, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How you doing? 404-741-1230, and here's Ozzy. Is this Ozzy? Wow, 2003. I can almost understand his words. Is this Ozzy? I can't believe it.
Yes, it is.
Ozzy started treatment for Parkinson's disease-like tremors on this day in 2003 and postponed his forthcoming European tour. Ozzy said, quote, "I've been in Boston for the last 3 weeks having medical tests for a tremor which has become markedly worse over the last 2 years." And I forgot what they were. Now he's still doing. He's still alive and everything, right? He and his wife.
He's not doing very good. He had to quit touring, and he's not recording anymore. He's in really bad health.
Yeah. Let's see. Current Pete and Flounder 352. Birthday list includes Justin Hayward. 78 years old, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Moody Blues, biggest hits, Nights in Weinstead, and I Have Your Wildest Dreams, which I can't listen to anymore because it's too sad, but I love the song that Flounder put on my thing for me, my music magic stick. And in fact, I was talking to Pete earlier, he was with the Moody Blues. We have New Yorker magazines I got for Christmas, and I got a million of them all over the house because they keep coming. I can't catch up to them. And one of them I'm just reading now has a great article about Fleetwood Mac, and of course I have Christine sing me home because she calls me baby, and about all the affairs and the lying and the cheating and the divorces. And I mean, oh man, what a freaking nightmare. But anyway, here we go on a musical thing. And on this day in history, this was a hell of a day in history. Columbus in history. Chuck Yeager broke the sound barrier. Martin Luther King got the big prize. We'll get to that in a little bit later on. And on this day in 1962, an American U-2 spy plane flying over Cuba sparks fears of another world war, the Cuban Missile Crisis. The PSYOPs photos showed that Soviet medium-range missiles were in Cuba. A few days later, President Kennedy orders a quarantine and blockade by our Navy and averts a nuclear war when the Russians back down. But it was 1962, and I remember going to school And our history master, teacher, was talking. I mean, he clued us into you better be ready to go in the military. And then he started telling World War II stories. His name was Rutledge. And tell you one of these guys like this, a little wiry guy, Rutledge. Yeah, when you got that barbed wire, so you got to go over the barbed wire. It's better laying the barbed wire and getting them little holes rather than the big ones. When you're trying to get to the enemy. Whoa, I'll never forget that guy. All right, 3:54. Holy crap, Flounder, I'm not doing anything. I'm running out of time. Let's do cut number 11. This is beautiful. Former President Bill Clinton. Oh, my God, he's in Georgia giving a speech, and he just helped the GOP. Here's what he talks about, how we should have secured the border. Number 11.
Case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened. But if they're all properly vetted and that doesn't happen.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
It's unbelievable. The guy comes out and says, boy, if they had closed the border, she'd be alive today. Well, gee, who was in charge of the border when she came? Oh, I mean, it's just unbelievable. What an idiot.
Maybe they don't want her to win.
I mean, what possible process in his mind would he think that he could blame Donald Trump for the Lake and Riley murder? After the issues of the border opening and all the crime, the Venezuelan gangs in the news right now. And he brings up the open borders leading to someone's death in Georgia while he's in Georgia? Holy crap. I mean, I can't believe it. 3:55. Oh, by the way, we've been promising for a week. I have a piece of paper here. Flounder, would you take a note, please? I have a piece of paper in my hand, and it says Pete Game. We are doing Pete's Game today. We've been trying to do a game with Pete coming up, so we'll do that later. Also, Pete's Tweets and Flounder's Funny coming up. In fact, let's do Flounder's Funny in a second, Flounder. First of all, that ad man is enough for Kamala, all the men talking about how you can be a real man and still vote for her. Yeah, they're actors. Including one of them, Lane Idedwu, is an immigrant from Nigeria, and he has a lot of intimate pictures with the Obamas and the Biden family. He's a gay for pay actor. In other words, he's straight, but he'll have sex with guys for money. What kind of an individual would be willing to get paid to have guys do the things guys do to other guys? Just for the money, just because it doesn't bother him. So he's kind of bi. He says, doesn't matter either way, he's fine with him. This is one of the guys in that ad. He's one who says, I'm man enough to braid my daughter's hair. Well, he doesn't have a daughter, so he's not braiding any girls' hair right now. Another gay man, Mike Leffingwell, works at the Upright Citizens Brigade. He's an acting coach, works for Netflix. It's amazing. They couldn't find enough straight dudes to put together a minute-long ad. They have to hire gay actors to become. My God!
How about the guy from Las Vegas with the shaved head, the huge ponytail, the ZZ Top beard, and the earrings? And they're thinking that represents the modern American male.
Yeah, that's the guy.
That's us. That weirdo is us.
That looks just like me.
I can relate to that guy.
Flounder, let's do a Flounder's Funny. I forgot my stick. I gotta go get my stick. For Nuckies, Hoagies, and the sub babies there, the sub sisters. Stacy and Jen.
I also have a 14-year-old daughter, and I gave her a chore list with 3 words on it, and she goes, "Where's your chore list?" You ever had a kid say something to you that then they're serious, but then you almost ruin it because you laugh? That's when I was like, oh, God, what? And I just go, what did you say? And she goes, "Where's your?" She slowed it down, like I actually didn't hear her, you know? So I said, everything that happens in this house to make this home operate, subtract the 3 things I asked you to do, and that is my chore list. Remember when you woke up in a bed, warm and not hungry? Fucking check. I did that.
I woke up in a bed warm.
My chore list also has 3 words on it, and it says, keep her alive. And it expires in 4 years, so focus.
Who's
Mr.
that,
Chad
Flounder?
Daniels right there.
Chad Daniels, ladies and gentlemen. Lucky's Hoagies and the naughty little subsisters right there. 358, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. Coming up, we're going to talk about the new endorsements, which could make a big difference. But first, we're going to highlight here, coming after the 4 o'clock news, you're going to hear great examples of how the media have not learned their lesson, even still, after that debate debacle and the fact-checking against only the conservative candidates, arguing with J.D. Vance, Kirsten Weller, and Martha Raddatz. These women, I've done it again over the weekend. If you didn't hear it, wait till you hear these sound bites coming up. Also, Scott Jennings on CNN, they're going to want to have him killed. Talking about these ads for Kamala and everything else. Also, False Walsh, the phony war hero, can't put a shell in a shotgun, and he's supposed to be a big-time hunter, and he invited the media to watch him go duck hunting, and he never fired a shot, and he couldn't figure out how to put the freaking shells in the shotgun. Well, I want to vote for that guy. After all, he's a war hero, isn't he? Oh, that's right, I forgot. 4 o'clock, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, man. Look out, here we go.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Atlanta's Safe House.
They'll be at opposite ends of the same battleground. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Former President Trump has a town hall event outside Philadelphia this evening, while Vice President Kamala Harris will be in Erie, Pennsylvania.
This is also a county that has been getting a lot of attention because it went to Trump in 2016, flipped to Democrats in 2020, and is a toss-up this cycle. And we are hearing today from Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman, who believes the entire state is a toss-up.
Fox's Mark Meredith in Erie. Harris is focusing on outreach to black men as well over concerns some may sit out the election, unveiling new economic proposals, including more apprenticeships, forgivable business loans for entrepreneurs, and studying sickle cell and other diseases that disproportionately affect black men. The U.S. is sending an advanced missile defense system to Israel with about 100 U.S. troops to operate it.
We know there are only 9 THAAD systems deployed around the world. One of them will be here in Israel this week to help the Israelis respond if there is another ballistic missile attack from Iran. And it comes as the Iran-backed militia in Lebanon, Hezbollah, continues to fire on cities like Haifa and into central Israel. Overnight, 4 Israeli soldiers were killed in a drone strike targeting a dining hall at a military base north of Tel Aviv. Israeli officials say this is another example of why they have to operate on the ground against Hezbollah.
Fox's Trey Yingst in northern Israel. Lebanese Red Cross officials say an Israeli airstrike hit an apartment building in northern Lebanon today, killing at least 21 people. The Pentagon criticizing Chinese war games around Taiwan, calling it irresponsible and destabilizing. China's defense ministry says those military exercises are an increase in pressure against Taiwan independence and that more could follow. A new milestone on Wall Street. The Dow topping 43,000 for the first time and staying there, up 201 points at the bell to a new record. America's listening to Fox News.
Hear that? The sound of adorable little birds in your garden. And if you were here, you'd taste the 2 sweet but tiny tomatoes you grew all by yourself. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens when you're riding your motorcycle, protected by Progressive, on your way to the store for a pack of normal-sized tomatoes. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without getting your hands dirty. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Police officer and K-9 handler Jacob Russell Chaffins was fatally shot while attempting to serve warrants for domestic violence offenses. And thanks to friends like you and your generosity, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave the Chaffins family the gift of a mortgage-free home. There's so much more to do and to say thank you to our nation's heroes and their families for their immense sacrifices, all for us. Donate $11 a month. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
303. How you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder. Happy Monday. Cooling off. Man, have we got a change in weather. 1977, David Bowie released his 12th album, Heroes, the second installment of his Berlin trilogy with Brian Eno. Is that Eno? Eno. And let's see, the other releases being Low and Lodger. Heroes continued the ambient experiments of Bowie's previously released Low earlier that year, and featured the contributions of guitarist Robert Fripp. The album was later named NME. I don't know what that is. Album of the Year. New Mexican entities.
This was voted the most
new music.
number one influential song ever.
Wow, really?
Heroes.
I know that. I don't think I've ever heard it. I know that there's a song called Heroes, and
the Wallflowers covered it in the early 2000s or late 90s. I want to say, and it's a pretty good version.
I think that's what I may have in back of my memory. But this song right now you're playing is the most influential song in the history of the world.
Yeah, it was voted. Yeah.
Not true.
Well, we got to hear like 20 seconds of this and hold it. That's not bull. You're lying. You're just making this up. There's no way that this is the most influential record of all time or any category of anything. I mean, that's just nonsense. Okay, I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong. Don't call. I mean, it's okay. Well, call if you want. 404-741-1230.
Actually, we have Gene on in a minute once you're done with your history and stuff. He wants to talk about UFOs.
Okay, well, I was going to just quick birthday. Isaac Mizrahi is 63, the fashion designer, Project Runway judge type guy, 63 years old. And on this day in history, in 1892, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes was published. It was actually the collection of the stories that Arthur Conan Doyle wrote and published in magazines for 5 years. And in 1892, it came out as The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. To the phones. I'm sorry, who'd you say? Roger?
Gene on the horn.
Gene, welcome. You're on the radio, sir. What's going on?
Hi, Kimmer. Is this the Kimmer formerly known as the Stain?
Yes, sir, the Stain on Atlanta. That's me.
Okay. Well, listen, you mentioned Professor Simon Holland earlier about the signal coming from outer space.
Yeah.
And I met this guy a couple of years ago. I started producing a documentary about sort of...
we lost him.
They got to him.
Are you there?
Oh, Gino, yeah, we lost you for a second. I'm sorry. You said you met him a few years ago, and then you dropped out. You met him, and continue from there, please.
Yeah, so I started producing a documentary about the same subject that he's working on. But I got to tell you, he is a big skeptic of this subject. And when this guy says that he believes this is a genuine signal, you can believe him. He's got a really good YouTube channel, Professor Simon Holland. And I just texted him a while ago and I said, look, I just heard you in Atlanta on the radio on the Kimmer show, which means you've made it to the top.
Well, that's pretty funny, but thank you. You may be getting in contact with us now, I bet you. Well, listen, by the way, for those who just joined us, what Gene's talking about is that this guy, Scott Holland, says that they have evidence of non-human extraterrestrial intelligence in our galaxy. They have a radio signal, evidence of non-human technological signature a few years ago. They're going to try to publish it with the proof of it shortly in a couple of weeks, probably. Let's see. It's a single point source, radio wave signal detected in the Australian on their frequency of their special telescope. The significant clue, it appeared to be coming from a planet orbiting a distant star with a Doppler effect, which is the frequency in relation to an observer moving away to it. He said the planet's coming from what appears to be rotating. He believes it would not come from a piece of human interference. Aliens weren't saying, hi, we're here. They're just buzzing if that's what they're doing their normal life. He says it's unlike any known natural phenomenon. So, Gene, I got to go with it. I got to go with you and your friend, Mr. Holland, Dr. Holland here. I think they're real. I think we all know it and probably believe it. And for some reason, they're afraid to tell us. But I think here we go. What do you think? And I guess we lost him. 408. I think again,
got him.
if they do, I mean, this would mean everything. And finally, if someone says, "Okay, we have the proof, here it is," and try to, refute it, then they can't start. They can't. Then they can. There's no sense in hiding anything after that. In other words, if this comes true, if this NASA guy, a scientist filmmaker guy, if what he says is true, and that they have the evidence and will be releasing it after everything is confirmed in the next couple of months. After that, if there is therefore proof that everybody has to say, well, it's from outer space and it's not ours, therefore proving that there is an existence of some kind out there, then there's no reason to keep any secrets. Tell what we have are UFOs in New Mexico and the whole day, starting from the beginning. Right? I mean, why would we hide it then if we know that they're there and therefore they can, communicate with us? They just did. So why secrecy after that? Open it all up.
Knowledge is power.
This could be, I know. God, but think about it. One day. But I want it to be now. Anyway, 409. All right, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230. Thank you, Gene. It was fun talking to you. Okay, politics. Here we go. I don't even know where to start. Let's do cut number 7, Flounder. CNN's political contributor, Scott Jennings, is making him cry again. He should watch his back, or Hillary might just put the old falling on a bag of guns routine on him. Listen to the audience on CNN actually gasp when Scott Jennings tries to explain to these nutless pansy boys and femmes that a man is a freaking man, and Carmela's hideous, puke-worthy ad cannot change that. Number 7, sir.
It was a rough week. I mean, her faves are down. They're struggling with, the front page of the New York Times this morning, Democrats struggling with African-American voters, particularly African-American men. This gender gap issue is real. It's a real problem, and you see the Democrats reacting to it. And I think what they are now finally in October, the election, coming to realize is that a lot of men think Democrats care more about dudes who want to become women than dudes who just want to be dudes. And no hunting, cosplay, or cringy videos is going to change it. The bet is made. Working class men, whether you're black, Hispanic, or white, persistently, consistently do not believe the Democratic Party, and specifically Kamala Harris, are going to do a thing for them. They've been told that they're the problem, and I suspect they're going to rise up on Election Day and tell the elites who told them that you're wrong.
Well, don't tell them that till after the election, for God's sakes. By the way, people are saying on social media, Scott Jennings for White House press secretary when Trump wins. And incidentally, the Babylon Bee has a few signs that will show whether you can tell whether a man is voting. Whether a man is voting for Carmela. Oh, come on, you dirty stinker. Let's see. He sits daintily on a truck tailgate in the ad. He's seen waving both hands simultaneously. He tries to load a shotgun through his butt, which is one of my favorites. He says, I eat my steak rare, but when he says it, he sticks out his hip and snaps his fingers and then says, you better believe it, big boy. Or you can tell a man's voting for Carmela. He's only been a man for 6 months, and he wants to thank her for that surgery he got in prison. And stuff like that. I mean, what a bunch of idiots. Do they really think, like Pete said, a bald-headed guy with a gold earring looks like a freaking pirate and talking about God knows what is the kind of guy that I'm supposed to be to vote for Carmela's side piece? I mean, what a bunch of idiots. All right, let's do cut number 3 here, Flounder. Let's keep it going. This is incredible. A major scandal is brewing if the mainstream media will only start covering the news. This is an edited segment that you never heard from the Univision Town Hall with Vice President Shifless. Apparently, America's favorite consort was enjoying some tequila backstage with her admirers before the program on Univision the other day, when this lady in the audience asked a question about the vice president's distinguished career, and it all came out. Flounder number 3.
Hola, Kamala. Me and my amigos want to know una cosa. Will you go back to El Stripping after you lose to the greatest president of all time? Muchas gracias. Trump 2024, bitches. Arriba. And LA.
Claro que sí, amigos. Before yo soy vice president, I was a mucho good stripper. I never was mucho smart, but I was mucho good at El Stripping. So yes, after I lose to El President Trump, I will go back to El Stripping for El Dinero.
Wow. I mean, if the news media would finally cover this stuff, making stripping American again. Not that there's anything wrong with that. In fact, I was thinking about maybe having a retired strippers night here at the Kimmer Show. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder and retired strippers can come together to talk about voting for Carmela. Incidentally, there are liberals who will say that this is not real. They should, but the media should still report it. I mean, like, the Russian collusion was not real either, but the media reported the crap out of that. Remember, they said Donald Trump got peed on by a hooker in the Hilton Hotel in Moscow or something? They reported on that. Remember the Chuck suspected child molester and all those guys? And the scumbag from California saying we have the proof of Russian collusion? They reported on that. They reported on the Hunter laptop is fake. Reported on that. How about reporting on stuff like this and then see what happens to you? Dirty, rotten, scummy, lousy bastards. Sorry, I got a little vicious there. I'm so sorry. I'm up to here with these people. Freaking media, man. 4:30. I used to be proud to be a member of the media. 4:13, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Pete Sweet's coming up in a game, too. Look out.
Time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast's premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
Back in my Atlanta days, on 2 radio stations, I had a sponsor who became a dear friend. His name was Bob Taylor, and he was one of the most generous and intelligent men I knew. Sadly, he passed away, but he had a daughter, her name Marjorie Taylor Greene. And because of my affection for her father, I've refrained until now from commenting on her actions in Congress. Notice the use of the words until now. Since her election, she has been an embarrassment to the Republican Party. Okay, to the sane branch of the Republican Party. Jewish space lasers. Do you remember that one? She is an essential part of the loony right conspiracy theory cabal. You can recognize some of these people with, well, for instance, chemtrails. The condensation trails you see in the sky behind jet engines at high altitude. That's not condensation. Those are chemicals that the government is spraying on us to control us. All of the theories behind the stolen election of 2020, all of which have been disproved, part of this cabal. And now Marjorie Taylor Greene is telling us that the Democrats in our government are controlling the weather, and they steered Hurricane Helene into eastern North Carolina, a very red vote area, to discourage those people or to occupy them so that they wouldn't have the time to vote for Donald Trump in the upcoming election. My friends, the Republican Party cannot survive these lunatics. The earth is not flat. Chemtrails are merely water vapor. Dominion voting machines did not intentionally malfunction, and our government isn't steering hurricanes. This nonsense is only doing damage to the Republican Party. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Jason Albritton here from Southern Exteriors. This holiday season, we're doing something truly special with our Home for the Holidays roof giveaway. Until November 30th, you have the chance to nominate a deserving family in need of a brand new roof just in time for the holidays. Imagine the comfort of knowing a family will enter the holiday season in a safe, secure home. It's more than just a roof. It's a peace of mind and a place to make cherished memories. Let's come together and make a difference. The winner will be announced on December 4th. To learn more, submit your nomination. Visit southernexteriors.co. Southern Exteriors, where home means more.
Hey, Jimmy, what's going on?
Oh, hey, Bobby. It's kind of embarrassing. I'm having deck problems.
You're having deck problems?
Hey, keep it down. It's embarrassing.
Look, there's plenty of guys in the neighborhood with deck problems. What's the matter with yours?
Well, it's small and old compared to yours.
All right, let's not make this a deck measuring competition. You just need to call Excavations. They've seen decks of all sizes, shapes, and colors. Good news is Excavations can build you a sweet new deck that you'll love to show off to your friends and neighbors. Don't worry, Jimmy. We're going to get you some big deck energy.
Hi, this is Candace with Excavations, and have I got a tip for you. Don't feel ashamed of your deck. Excavations can build an outdoor living space that you'll be proud of. And with our Exavision, we'll be able to show you your home's transformation before you even begin the work. Keep the HOA off your deck and give us a call today for decks, windows, siding, roofing, and more. Or visit us at exovations.com to get inspired.
My name is Jamie High, and I have worked for Bruce Hagen for 14 years. Why do I work for Bruce? Because he truly cares. He cares about me, he cares about my family, and he cares about each and every one of his clients. Family is important to him, and he never makes me choose between my family and work. He values me as an employee, but also as a person. At our firm, we are all family, and I wouldn't want it any other way. I am Jamie, and I've worked for Bruce Hagen for 14 years because he's the best. Hagen-law.com.
Hey, are you paying crazy rates for your health insurance? Call Doug Moore at 770-697-0100. Your health insurance cost shouldn't look like a house payment. Are you tired of having things not covered, like doctor visits, labs, etc.? Doug can help, so call him at 770-697-0100. Doug sells all forms of health insurance. His plans have no deductibles, and you don't have to switch doctors. If you're paying too much for health insurance, Doug can help. He has over 20 years' experience. You can go to his website and request a quote. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net. That's yourchoicehealthplan.net, or call his cell phone at 770-697-0100. Doug can make a plan that you will be able to use. Call 770-697-0100 and he can help. Or go to his website to request a quote, yourchoicehealthplan.net, and contact him. Doug says don't fret. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net and he can bring rates down. 770-697-0100.
419, how you doing? Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 106.3. 404-741-1230, remember? Joe Cocker here. 1972. Joe Cocker and 6 members of his band on tour arrested after a concert in Adelaide, Australia, when police discovered marijuana and heroin in their hotel rooms. The group was not charged, but instead was given 4 hours to flee the country, ladies and gentlemen. Just pretty funny. Heroin's, that's not funny. I can't believe they got away with having heroin there. But why were the police looking at their hotel rooms? I guess, anyway. Birthday list at 420 here with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Natalie Maines, she the fat one, she's 50 from the phony chicks, the phony Dixie chicks. The non-Dixie chicks. Anyway, Natalie Maines is 50 years old today. And on this day in history, 1944, the war is over for Nazi General Erwin Rommel, the infamous tank commander, and so is life. Rommel's given the option: either face a public trial for treason as co-conspirator in the assassination plot to kill Hitler, or take cyanide. What would you have done if you had offered, say, well, you can either take cyanide or stand trial and be convicted and whatever? What would you do?
Do the trial so you could speak your mind.
Flounder, what would you do if you had a choice to go on trial and do the whole thing, or just get it over and take cyanide?
I did the trial as well.
I think I'd probably would just for that. But I didn't say if he had gone to trial, if the punishment would have been hanging. I think I'd rather take cyanide than be stretched by my neck until I choke to death. I don't know.
Didn't he go to his hometown and go out under a tree and take it?
I believe so. I didn't say here in the two history things I read about it, but I've heard that, and I think that's probably true. I don't remember. But they gave him an option. I mean, they were pretty, he was their war hero, but that's why they gave him a break. 421, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Our 4 o'clock hour brought to you by our good friends of the home of the Kimmer Safes. It's Atlanta's Safe House. You need a safe, silly, to protect things like floods and storms and thieves and things like that. On the web, they have a showroom in Ackworth, and on the web, atlantasafehouse.com. 422, 404-741-1230, 741-1230, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Coming up, False Walsh and the duck hunting. Also, Donald Trump gets a new thing. We got memes and we got tweets. I'll wait to hear the sound on the liberal media, but first, a little something called Pete's Tweets.
Rambo, you magnificent bastard, I read your book.
That's right.
Anyway, now finding out most of Hezbollah's cash and gold reserves were destroyed in Israel's strike on their secret headquarters. An estimated $1.5 billion in cash incinerated and a ton of gold bricks melted back into the earth.
Oh, are you serious? Oh, my God.
Well, that's going to be a gold mine right there. You've been there digging.
Lord.
Yeah. The professor said men who would not vote for Kamala should be lined up and shot is no longer an employee of the University of Kansas.
Yeah, that makes sense. Idiot.
Matt's Idea Shop put out a meme showing Doug Emhoff, Kamala, and Joe Biden. It's labeled Slap, Cackle, and Pops. Randy Quaid tweets, Obama went out in a $10,000 custom suit to tell the brothers they should vote for Kamala to keep him in $10,000 custom suits when the people he's talking to can't afford gas and groceries because he stumped for Biden in 2020 in a $10,000 custom suit.
Custom suit.
It was probably $8,000 then.
By then.
Greg Price tweets, the right's message to young men is lift weights, eat red meat, go to church, read books, make money, and build meaningful relationships. The left's message to men is your masculinity is toxic, and you should be ashamed of who you are. And they wonder why Kamala is struggling to win male voters. I mean, you crapped on him for 6 years or so here, and then now you're begging for their vote.
Yeah, after putting him in jail in California and bragging about it.
Yeah. New Halloween costume from Spirit. Hurricane Survivor. Comes complete with STP T-shirt, hot beer, generator, gas can, and a $750 check. Dr. Mary Bowden tweets, the Texas Medical Board wants to punish me for using salty language on social media. They can go F themselves.
I'd kill for a Nobel Peace Prize, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and there's Pete's tweet.
Well, excellent. At 424, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230. We're going to cut number 5 here, Flounder. We get a little back political stuff, and also the false wall shotgun thing coming up first. A rally in Prescott Valley, Arizona on Sunday. Donald Trump told the crowd he is honored to receive the endorsement of the Border Patrol agents. The whole damn team apparently says it's a great honor. They said it was unanimous, thousands of people. And then Donald Trump invited Paul Perez, president of the National Border Patrol Council, onto the stage. Cut number 5.
Remember, we have a choice to make. Continue the chaos. Allow the criminal cartels to control the border, to allow drugs and fentanyl across our country, or put an end to it once and for all. On behalf of the 16,000 men and women represented by the National Border Patrol Council, we strongly support and endorse Donald J. Trump for President of the United States.
I love it. It's 425. Also, Donald Trump told those folks there that digging his opponent, Vice President Harris, vows he'll never allow the military to become woke. The rallying a vote for people in Arizona, the key swing state. And by the way, False Walsh was at it again. What an idiot. There's video of him. He invited the media to join him on a duck hunt. So he's got this fancy clothing stuff and his fancy shotgun, and he is caught on video trying to figure out how to load it. It looks like he's never held one in his arms before, in his hands. He didn't know where it goes, what to flip it upside down. What do you do? My God. Quote, Tim Walz claimed he carried weapons of war in combat, but he can't load a shotgun. This guy's beyond weak. My little sister could beat him up. You got to watch this, said John Rich, the country singer. Tim Walz looks as comfortable loading a shotgun as Kamala does answering basic questions. Those hunting skills called into question after the 3-hour hunt. He didn't shoot a single shot off. He claims he's a lifelong bird hunter, clearly proving he has no idea how to load or charge a semi-automatic shotgun. A lot of sporting days with semi-automatic rifles and over-unders. This guy doesn't know what he's a first-timer for sure. After watching Walsh try to handle a shotgun, officially retract any criticism from him avoiding combat zones, said a guy with accusations of stolen valor. Actually, he says he's a hero. He is so bad with a weapon that he saved American lives skipping the war zone. Another, Tim Walsh looks like someone who's never loaded a shot. I mean, it goes on and on and on. It's unbelievable. Absolutely outrageous. 427. Okay, now the media is covering for this guy. By the way, if that had been Donald Trump or J.D. Vance, especially J.D. Vance, who has a military record, and Walsh has he's a phony war hero, but he has the National Guard record. If that had been J.D. Vance with a military record and being in a war zone and everything else, didn't know how to load a shotgun, you don't think that'd be front page news of every freaking media in the world?
Well, when Dick Cheney shot that guy with a shotgun, that's all we heard about.
Yeah. Cut number 6, Flounder. These idiot liberals still think they know better than anybody else. Here's a few moments as Vice President candidate J.D. Vance, an actual Marine veteran who did serve in war, torching the dried-up old socialist Martha Raddatz on ABC's This Week. She thinks it's not a big deal for foreign gangs to break into America and take over apartment complexes in America. Cut number 6, Flounder.
The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
Only, Martha, do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border. Americans are so fed up with what's going on, and they have every right to be. And I really find this exchange, Martha, sort of interesting because you seem to be more focused with nitpicking everything that Donald Trump has said rather than acknowledging that apartment complexes in the United States of America are being taken over by violent gangs. I worry so much more about that problem than anything else here. We've got to get American communities in a safe space again. And unfortunately, when you let people in by the millions, most of whom are unvetted, most of whom you don't know who they really are, you're going to have problems like this. Kamala Harris, 94 executive orders that undid Donald Trump's successful border policies. We knew this stuff would happen. They bragged about opening the border, and now we have the consequences, and we're living with it. We can do so much better, but frankly, we're not going to do better, Martha, unless Donald Trump calls this stuff out. I'm glad that he did.
Martha, wait a minute. You're saying bad things. I don't like those things you're saying. I don't like those things at all.
How many do we have to put up with, Martha? How many complexes have to be touched? By the way, they never affect her neighborhood. Do you know where she lives?
Yeah. Where she lives?
In a $2+ million house in Arlington, Virginia, in the suburbs. She will never see one of these people.
Yeah. She should talk to the people in those apartments and just tell them to chill. It's not a big deal. Yeah. Gaslighting now. These socialist Democrats think it's not a problem for Venezuelan gangs to come in here illegally and take over American apartment complexes in America.
Because it's an abstract for them. They never see it.
And another great example coming up of the same thing, too. Next with the Kimber Pete Flounder. 4:30. Look out. Here we go.
Protesters, the unrest is back. This has to be shut down completely.
Oh, the fun of it is that they're so dedicated to Hamas, they had to take 4 months off.
Yes. That's right.
Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Its technology is not just intelligent, it's thoughtful. Its cabin is not only spacious, but sensuous and stylish. It's indulgent, yet versatile. Meet the 2025 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300 SUV. With its electrified performance, it can energize you with every drive. Experience the 2025 GLC 300 SUV and lease one today for just $559 per month for 36 months with 4802 due-it signing exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this vehicle and many other models, and visit today to see how to qualify. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta, Sandy Springs through October 31st, 2024. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Howard Brothers and Steel Blowers. The weather has changed and here comes the leaves. Get ahead of the leaves this fall with Steel's backpack and handheld blowers. They make the fall cleanup quick. If you need a handheld blower for small spaces, a backpack blower for bigger jobs, or a powerful professional model to really make those leaves fly, Steel's got it all. Find your next Steel product at Howard Brothers. Their friendly team can help you find the perfect Steel blower to keep those pesky leaves out of your way. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Steel and Howard Brothers.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building building alone. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on the station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to firstlibertyga.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Are you concerned about securing your family's future and assets? Look no further than Nelson Elder Care Law. As a family-owned and family-focused firm, we offer absolute assurance and peace of mind through our comprehensive asset protection services. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com to explore how we can safeguard your legacy and provide tailored solutions for your family's well-being.
As the longest continually operating franchise in Major League Baseball, the Atlanta Braves have plenty of history to share with fans. Tours of Truist Park are offered year-round, and take guests behind the scenes to areas normally off limits during games. With artifacts and exhibits distributed throughout the ballpark, it's a definite must for any Braves or baseball fan. Visit Braves.com/tours to purchase your tickets today. And did you know that along with exclusive tours around the ballpark, you can also host a private event at Truist Park? Corporate meetings, trade shows, team building events, holiday parties, rehearsal dinners, you name it. Truist Park can host it. Their dedicated staff is sure to bring your vision to life. Whether you're looking for a large space or something more intimate for your next event, there's a venue to accommodate your needs. Visit Braves.com/events to see more details. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
Yeah, there we go. It's all good.
737 coming out of the sky. Oh, won't you take me down to Memphis on a midnight ride? I want to move.
Hang on, here we go. CCR. Creedence Clearwater Revival. 1971, the music publishing firm Arco filed a $500,000 lawsuit against Creedence Clearwater Revival singer John Fogerty, claiming that Fogerty's song Travelin' Band contained substantial material copied from Little Richard's Good Golly Miss Molly. Good Golly, all did kind of sound a lot. Anyway, the lawsuit was dropped eventually. 4:35, and of course, CCR did my theme Round the Bend for years and years, which I never wanted. I didn't like that song. I still don't like that song. Never did. But I didn't pick it. But they were my theme song for 30 years or something. Let's see. Birthdays include Lori Petty. I don't watch Orange is the New Black, or didn't, but you may have. Lori Petty is 61. She was Lolly Whitehill on Orange is the New Black. She was Kit Keller in A League of Their Own. And Lori Petty, who's 61, was also in Point Break, in case you're a fan of Lori Petty. And, I got a little thing with my phone Googling here, a little history thing. Here on this day in history in 1912, Donald Trump is only the latest president to be shot giving a speech. Teddy Roosevelt was at the podium in Milwaukee when his speech saved him. It was on this day in 1912. Theodore Roosevelt's opening line was hardly remarkable for a presidential campaign speech. Here's his first line. Friends, I shall ask you to be as quiet as possible. His second line, I don't know whether you fully understand that I have just been shot. He had just been shot. The audience in Milwaukee Auditorium gasped as the former president unbuttoned his vest, revealing his blood-stained shirt. It takes more than that to kill a bull moose, the wounded candidate assured them. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a bullet-riddled 50-page speech. Teddy Roosevelt, holding up his prepared remarks, had 2 big holes blown through each page. He said, fortunately, I had my manuscript, so you see I was going to make a long speech, and there's a bullet. There's where the bullet went through, and it probably saved me from it going into my heart. The bullet is in me now, so I cannot make a very long speech, but I will try my best. It was in him. He got shot. holding up his remarks. So 2 days before, the editor of Roosevelt's thing characterized him as an electric battery of inexhaustible energy. His voice was weakened, his breath shortened. He glared at his nervous aides, begging him to stop speaking. He said, "Forget it," and went on with his speech after being shot in the chest. Thankfully, the bulk of the speech, and I think his eyeglass case, there were some other things that reflect, but holy cow, he showed his bloody shirt. Giving the speech, man. Got to love it. 438, Kara, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. We have a game. We have Holy Crap at Sports. We have Flounder's Funnies coming up shortly. And also more, again, on the freaking media. Again, I hope you don't think I'm being too overbearing about this, but you really need, I don't watch the Sunday shows. I haven't watched the Sunday show since John Cameron Swayze. Or, I mean, seriously, I don't remember half of those freaking guys. Lawrence Spivak. Remember Lawrence Spivak? From NBC's Meet the Press, like 1958. Anyway, there used to be a staple that people would watch, and the same with Face the Nation on 60 Minutes and everything. But here we go again. These liberal freaking Trump haters in the media grasping at anything they can. Check out how embarrassed NBC was itself again with Kristen Welker. Again, this time with a Speaker of the House, Johnson. Listen how Kristen Welker is so upset that Donald Trump is apparently hiding his blood work. The shame. What is he hiding? Cut number 8, Flounder. Is he dying? What's wrong with Trump? Number 8 is a new cut there with a thing there with a cut number.
Just to be very clear, he hasn't released all of his medical records. He released 2 letters. Should he release the results of the cognitive test?
He's on display every minute.
So it's unnecessary. You can see that he didn't release his medical records. You don't want to know things like his cholesterol level, whether he's dealing with any issue that we may not know about, if he's going to be commander-in-chief. And he also said he would release cognitive tests.
Listen to your question.
Should he release that?
The American people, Kristen, the American people don't care about the cholesterol level of Donald Trump. They care about the cost of living and the fact they cannot pay for groceries because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's policies have put them in that situation. The medical records are irrelevant. Let's talk about things that the American people...
blood work. I mean, my God, the nerve of these people. Honestly, what about his cholesterol? Nobody knows his cholesterol. Oh, my God.
Did Biden ever take a cognitive test?
Well, that's the other thing. Reaction. Kristen, we don't dare care about Trump's cholesterol levels, just like you didn't care that Joe Washer's daughter's declining cognitive abilities were obvious. How about Kristen releasing her abortion count? Biden's been a walking dementia patient for 4 years, and she's worried about Trump's cholesterol? Hey, where's the request for Biden's and Carmela's cognitive exam results? I think we're good. We've seen Carmela's whole cholesterol levels, and so don't release Biden's medical records for 4 years, but Trump's blood work seems to be okay with these people. Holy smoke. She was arguing about not knowing his cholesterol levels. Well, how about this? Cut number 2, Flounder. At least the vice president is trying to show that she really can relate to the little people. So she went on Family Feud. Holy cow. Cut number 2. Here's Carmela's side piece on Family Feud, showing she's just like you and me.
Okay, 100 people surveyed, top 6 answers on the board. Name something that you keep in your glove compartment. Oh, VP Harris.
Steve, look. I was raised in a middle-class family, all right?
Oh, here we go.
Okay, my mother raised my sister and me, all right? Yeah. She worked hard and saved up.
Yeah,
And we had a second mother, too.
Okay. Did that mother have a glove compartment?
A small business owner named Miss Shelton.
Okay, we got that. Something that you keep in your glove compartment.
Oh, a Glock, Steve. A big old Glock.
Oh, snap. Okay, so you strapped like that. All right. Show me the blip, blam, blicky. All right.
I don't know what that was, but anyway, but Saturday Night Live, this is now a couple of weeks in a row where they've been kind of making fun of Carmela. Not that I'm not sure it's going to make any difference to their listeners and voters. They're going to all vote probably for her, but still, I mean, maybe
they were untouchable for 4 years.
Yeah. That's right. Well, maybe something's happening. Dave Portnoy, the founder of Barstool Sports, social media star Dave Portnoy, was having. He's had it up to here. You've heard us rant and so forth. Let's hear Dave Portnoy on the hypocrisy of these socialist no-brainers who have tried to convince us that Vice President Kamala Bumpy Pumper is the greatest chance for America's future. Cut number 4, Flounder. Dave Portnoy right here. Here's what he thinks.
All right. Every once in a while, I get so fed up with politics, I got to do a rant and just let steam off. I try not to, but I've hit the boiling point. And it's the gaslighting that the left is doing with Kamala Harris, making it sound like she's some great, groundbreaking candidate. She is the worst candidate to ever run for president ever. There's 2 people voting in this election. Either you're voting for Donald Trump, you like Donald Trump, or you hate Donald Trump and you're voting against him. But Kamala Harris, let's stop her. And what put this over the edge for me? Last week, I'm watching her at a campaign rally, and she's up there being like, we need to turn the page in America. It's time for a new way forward, and I'm your candidate for change, and they're hooting and hollering. I am so sick of being gaslighted like she's some great candidate. There was a reason when she ran for president last time, she didn't get 1 vote. She dropped out before the primaries. There's a reason they waited, the Democrats, till after Biden got the nomination because she wouldn't have gotten it again. She is the worst presidential candidate in the history of American politics, honestly. Now, if you still want to vote for her because you hate Trump that much and you can't stand him, you think he's all this evil shit, do it. But stop the gaslighting, please. The footage is there. She can't answer simple questions. If you have any issues with the last 4 years, that's her. And she, even though she's saying she's the change candidate, she literally then will go on interviews and be like, same thing. I can't think of one thing different. It's like I'm taking crazy pills.
I mean, seriously. And she's done. And again, if you didn't hear Bill Clinton, we played him last hour. I'll play him again maybe in a few minutes. Again, these people are just, they'll try to make an excuse and blame Donald Trump for the last 4 years. And again, if you haven't heard Bill Clinton's voice lately, that's coming up here in just a second in case you missed it earlier. We'll do it. Trump pauses at his rally in Arizona, by the way, and kind of had a little fun with himself here, stunned by a woman who was obviously a supporter. Donald Trump was talking about his crowd sizes at the rallies, and a woman in the audience screamed out, "Because we love you." And the crowd started going nuts. They were erupting in applause and yelling and screaming. And so Trump looked around. He said, where is that woman? Well, let me take a, where is she? Stand up, take a look. Oh, look at her. Oh, my God, I'd say she's beautiful. Is that your wife? You know what? I would say she's a beautiful woman, but if I did say that, my political career, you're not allowed to say that stuff, so I'm not allowed to even call you a beautiful woman. And then he turned away, and Donald Trump said, yeah, but she is. It's crazy it's crazy what's going on. You have to be politically correct nowadays. His PC culture likening it to a widespread virus talking and taking over America. Yep. And then went on about his rally. But again,
women already think he's a philanderer. Why would you do that?
I know, it's silly. You just can't talk to chicks at the podium, but at least he knew it, and so maybe it won't hurt him. I haven't seen a lot of coverage of it other than us having a little fun, but I don't know. Good Lord, these people. It's 4:46 already. Holy cow. Happy Monday. How's it going? Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder right here.
All wealth in this country is owned by individuals, not by corporations. All wealth is held by individuals.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Oh man, look at my backyard. Looks like a tornado met a hurricane in a desert. I'm going to tell her to turf off. Or maybe you'd rather turf on with ATL Turf Co., the Southeast's leading turf installer. Whether you'd like a new football field, putting green, or have us create the perfect maintenance-free backyard of your dreams, find ATLTurfCo.com. Make your yard great again. Visit ATLTurfCo.com and see what we've created for customers like you in the Southeast. ATLTurfCo.com. And no more yard cackling.
Foundation repair isn't pretty, but at Atlanta Ramjack, we make it easy. If you notice any cracks in your foundation, they need to be addressed as soon as possible to reduce additional costs that come with the repair. Why call us? Foundation repair is all we do. We have highly trained estimators that will thoroughly evaluate your home and only recommend what is needed. If you are experiencing foundation problems, please contact us at ramjack.com/Atlanta or call us at 770-502-8881.
The end of the year is closing in, and with it, another tax year comes to an end. As you prepare to file your taxes, consider the efficiency of your tax strategy. Have you maximized your IRA and Roth contributions? Do you have an RMD strategy in place? Are you making moves now to maximize your future tax-free income? Not only is the year-end fast approaching, but the 2017 tax cuts sunset at the end of 2025, placing many Americans in a higher tax bracket. Don't just report your taxes, plan for them. Contact Master Plan Retirement Consultants now to create a retirement plan specifically designed for you. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation where we can illustrate your retirement outlook and create a plan together for your future. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Central Heating and Air Conditioning wants you to know the start of the new season is the perfect time to ensure your home's comfort for the fall and winter. Don't wait like most people do to have your HVAC system serviced. Your home should have maintenance twice a year. Maintenance helps keep your furnace running at peak efficiency and extends the life of your equipment. Turn to the experts for your system's maintenance at 770-GET-HEAT or centralheat.com. Central Heating and Air Conditioning can fix what ails your house and possibly your family with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speed, fresh air ventilation, air cleaners, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Carrier products, carrier warranty, and carrier peace of mind. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert since 1947 and one of the few second-generation locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. Call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Are you planning for your big day? Are you picking out the venue, the cake, the menu, the dress, the tux? And you can't forget about those wedding bands. Well, you're in luck because Wedding Band Weekend is back at Solomon Brothers Jewelers. October 25th through the 27th is the best time to save big on those wedding bands that you'll say I do with. During Wedding Band Weekend at Solomon Brothers Jewelers, when you buy her band, you get his for free. And to make your purchase even easier, we're offering 60 months interest-free financing on all of the top wedding band designers in the industry. That's 5 years to not worry about paying for those beautiful rings that symbolize your commitment. And remember, no matter the price, you'll find something nice. So come visit us October 25th through the 27th to shop for your wedding bands in Buckhead on Peachtree Road, Alpharetta Old Milton Parkway, and Sharpsburg on Highway 34 and Fisher Road, or online at SolomonBrothers.com.
Motown. Yes, we will. I love the Supremes. The Supremes. 1969 this day, the Supremes released Someday We'll Be Together. It was their last single with Diana Ross. It became the last of 12 American #1 pop singles for Diana Ross and the Supremes on the Motown label. It was released as the final Supreme song featuring Diana Ross. It was recorded as Ross's first solo single, and Supreme members Mary Wilson and Cindy Birdsong did not sing on the recording. I forgot there was a whole split thing, and didn't one of them die in poverty in a slum in Detroit or something, if I'm not mistaken?
One ended badly.
Yeah, not a good thing. 4:51, Kim, Pete, and Flounder. Our birthday list includes Usher. 46. That's one of my favorite songs. Back when I was trying to hit on this black chick who worked at this place where I had a drive-thru, and every time I go to the drive-thru and she was working there, I'd play the song. I think it was Usher. It's like, thinking about you, thinking about me.
That's Nelly.
I should have bought that hair. What was it?
That's Nelly.
Ow. I always get that wrong. It was Nelly. Should have bought that ring. My shoddy, my wife.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Anyway, Usher is 46. I don't know how old Nelly is. And she didn't bite it, by the way, either, anyway. She thought it was cute, though. 2017, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences held an emergency meeting and expelled Harvey Rapestein. Yes, whose conquests include California Governor Newsom's wife, one of Harvey's many conquests. 452, Kim, Pete, and Flounder. Okay, here we go. A little update on the Bill Clinton visit to Columbus, Georgia today. It actually says here that Bill Clinton now is 78 years old. He held the microphone and was noticeably trembling during his appearance today, one day after he was confused for Joe Biden by a McDonald's worker during a fast food pit stop. He said, in fact, the idiot Bill Clinton, trembling probably mentally too. Flounder, let's play cut number 11. This is Bill Clinton helping the Republican Party and Donald Trump when Bill Clinton himself said this about America's open border for the last 4 years.
You had a case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened. But if they all properly vetted, and that doesn't happen.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
And by the way, Clinton actually repeated that line. It wasn't we didn't edit that in. He actually said, yeah, I've been killed by an immigrant. Think about it, that young woman had been killed by an immigrant. Quote, yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened. And then he actually said the same thing again. The same line. He repeated it. Holy smokes. I mean, these people are just freaking idiots. What does the matter with them? And, of course, Donald Trump immediately made an ad out of it, which I think is basically freaking hysterical. And another new update, by the way, in case you just joined us. Kamala has now been caught as a plagiarist. She apparently stole entire sections of her book, Smart on Crime, that was done in 2009. She copied from sources including Wikipedia, the John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and there you can find side by side her book and these other sources, just taken whole chunks of it. And then the question is whether she even knew whether she even wrote the book. It's possible that she had a ghostwriter do the whole damn thing. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. She's theoretically written a couple of books. Anyway, 4:55, Kim, Pete, and Flounder. I've got a Flounder's Funny coming up anytime you want to, Flounder. When you're ready, if you have something funny, just pop it in there. This is Columbus Day. Oh, and in fact, for the record, I have a quick Columbus Day information here for you. Columbus Day, annual observance, America, 1492, although they got wrong. 1493, Columbus sailed the deep blue sea, so just for the record. Celebrating his arrival in the New World and the impact of his journey in the course of history. Columbus Day is a federal holiday. 29 states and Washington, D.C. do not celebrate Columbus Day. 216 cities have renamed it Indigenous Peoples Day or Non-Columbus Day. And anyway, in fact, I keep forgetting to check out whether even Georgia is this a state holiday? I don't know. No, well, hold on. We got was that our? But there you go. Nucky's Hoagies are Flounder's Funny for Kim, Pete, Flounder. We got
Twitter's Twitter's like I feel like it's just like celebrities telling you you're the worst. I follow Leonardo DiCaprio. You know, I'm a big fan. Just want to see what that guy's life is like. He tweets nothing fun out. I've learned that. He tweeted out 100 million sharks get killed a year by people. Just threw that up. No solution. I'm just at home in Tennessee, nowhere near an ocean. So many sharks. I don't even... If you told me to guess how many sharks were alive, I would never have guessed 100 million. A million? I don't know. Like, who knows how many sharks there are? I tweeted back. I was like, all right, dude, I won't kill any sharks. I don't know. Is that what you wanted out of this? I won't do it. I've never even been near a situation where I thought I might have to kill this shark.
Nate, for God's sake. I don't know. He's just lucky. He's just gifted, because that's not the kind of stuff you can write. I mean, he just starts talking. Yeah. He just thinks of stuff, I mean, just the gift. He is a gift to gab.
Hey, by the way, Matt Couch just said, holy blank, about Kamala and her speech today. Yeah. Imagine running to be president of America by saying we shouldn't be America in the first place. She and her advisors are dumber than whale blank.
Well, in fact, let's do cut number 1, Flounder. This is hysterical. Donald Trump's campaign team has unearthed some video when Kamala was talking about Indigenous Peoples Day during a speech to the National Congress of American Indians, which, by the way, is the name of the group. The National Congress of American Indians, not American Indigenous Peoples. It's actually their still name. They had a convention in 2021. And cut number 1, Flounder, the Trump campaign released this. If you haven't heard it before, you're about to enjoy this, what she thinks should happen to Columbus Day.
It is an honor, of course, to be with you this week as we celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day, as we speak truth about our nation's history. Since 1934, every October, the United States has recognized the voyage of the European explorers who first landed on the shores of the Americas. But that is not the whole story. That has never been the whole story. Those explorers ushered in a wave of devastation for tribal nations, perpetrating violence, stealing land, and spreading disease.
Oh, my God.
We must not shy away from this shameful past, and we must shed light on it and do everything we can to address the impact of the past on Native communities today.
This is unburdened by the what has been kind of deal thing. I thought you were supposed to unburden yourself with the past. I don't. Good Lord. What an idiot. It was a different time, okay? My God. And I mentioned earlier, companies used to dump dangerous chemicals, PCBs, from making stuff into the local creeks. We didn't know anything.
We didn't do it.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
We're Americans.
Yeah.
We didn't do it. The people she's lecturing to did not do those things.
Yeah. And plus, they don't do them anymore. It wasn't even real. It wasn't a thing.
And she's benefited from it. Her family, who came over here from India and Jamaica, have benefited from what happened here.
In fact, wasn't her great-great-grandfather a slave owner? Her family owned slaves. Pretty much like every country in the world, by the way. Anyway, we'll get to it. 5 o'clock, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Holy crap, it's sports and so much more, and a lot to talk about, too. Look out, here we go. Happy Monday.
and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches.
Left on Lisa Brady, Fox News, and the sprint to Election Day as both campaigns making return trips to key battlegrounds. Vice President Harris and former President Trump will both be in Pennsylvania this evening, while Trump running mate J.D. Vance visits Minnesota, where Harris running mate Tim Walz is the governor.
Senator Vance stood with a group of retired officers outside a precinct building burned out in the rioting that followed George Floyd's murder. Vance said Governor Walz allowed it.
He abandoned these officers at their moment of most critical need.
That, Vance says, is reason enough to reject the Democratic ticket led by Vice President Kamala Harris. But he admits it will be close.
Yes, it is tight, but right now I think Donald Trump would win.
National surveys still have the race nearly neck and neck 3 weeks before Election Day.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Governor Walz did impose a citywide curfew and deploy the National Guard during those riots, but has faced criticism for not acting sooner. Vice President Harris agrees to a Fox News interview. She'll sit down with Bret Baier on Wednesday, and it will air that evening during Special Report at 6 p.m. on Fox News Channel. Threats against FEMA workers may have slowed the response to Hurricane Helene.
Rutherford County Sheriff's deputies arrested 44-year-old William Parsons for a vague threat he made, saying he was going to mess up some FEMA personnel while he was armed. Members of the Army called the sheriff after hearing about this threat from a gas station attendant. Parsons has since posted bail.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. There were also reports of militia members hunting FEMA. That was later discounted, but FEMA tells the Associated Press some workers were pulled back from going door to door. California health officials investigating 5 more possible human cases of bird flu among dairy farm workers. This after 6 confirmed cases in the state among workers exposed to infected dairy cows. America is listening to Fox News.
Hear that? The sound of your antique fountain pen gliding across linen paper as you journal in the park. And if you were here, you'd be inspired by the warm breeze. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. And the wind in your face on the road is all the inspiration you need. So if you ride, get a quote and see if you could save with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Now that's inspiring. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation welcomed U.S. Army Specialist Brent Menard into a new mortgage-free smart home in Florida. Now, while on a road clearance mission in Afghanistan, Brent's vehicle was blown up by an improvised explosive device. Brent became a T4 paraplegic. Tunnel to Towers built him a specially adapted smart home that allows severely injured heroes like Brett to live more independently. We hope you'll donate $11 a month so this great work can continue. Just go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a blank. Ready on the dog target. Road guards out. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. With Pete Davis and Flounder. 503 on 106.3. And here's a number. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. It's a beautiful Monday, cool and crisp. And I think, in fact, I looked at the long-range forecast a little while ago, and I think it's all 70s or below. The 80s are gone. I think this may be the first week in a long time where there's not an 80 to be listed, at least this morning, for the rest of the week. So, anyway, well, it's good. I'm not ready for the cold, but in fact, it's chilly in here, too. We're going to have to, make some arrangements. Anyway, how you doing, boys? 504-404-741-1230. What do you got there? Are you itching your nipples? Yeah, my nipples are.
Well, I'm just seeing how cold they are.
In fact, I have one Marine Corps shirt. I wear a Marine Corps shirt every day to work. I don't always wear them on the weekends, but every day to work. And there's one that I really love, but I don't wear it because it makes my nipples stick out.
What scratches them? It's arousing them.
Well, I look like I have man boobs, and I don't have man boobs. I mean,
do what the ladies do. Put a Band-Aid
little
over.
thing over there. By the way, I almost had fun today. I'd love to do this. I was behind a guy at the stoplight coming into work, and the light was about to turn green, and it was an old man. I couldn't really see his face. An old man in a 4-door Ford. He's at the light in front of me. And he's smoking a cigarette, and he flicks his ash out the window, and then smokes a cigarette. And about 10 seconds later, he throws the cigarette out the window. Now, what I have always done in the past is I immediately get out of my vehicle, I go get that cigarette and throw it back in the window of the person who threw it out. I did it once. The last one I did was to a girl. I was on my Harley, and she pulled up at an intersection, and she threw it out the window, and I got off my Harley. It was still running behind me. I got off my Harley. I picked up that cigarette butt, and I started coming toward her. So she rolls up her window real fast. So I put it out, and I just squashed it out on her front windshield. I said, here, you dropped this. I was just giving this back to you in case you wanted this. I thought maybe you dropped this accidentally or something, And I tried to, by the time I got out of my car, it was time to light, and he was already gone, and I couldn't catch him. I couldn't do anything about it. But anyway, I tried. But I mean, don't throw your. I mean, how nervy is that? When's the last time you? Well, I mean, my God. Plus, who smokes? I guess they don't even have ashtrays in cars anymore.
Well, I've got one in mine, which is strange, but
Europe, man.
an actual lighter still in there. But you know what? I don't know if it rained down there. We had a thunderstorm up here last night for a few minutes, but it's been pretty dry.
Yeah.
And that's pretty stupid to throw it out there for it to catch the grass on fire.
It's crazy. I mean, plus it's just ruined. You don't throw, lit cigarettes on the...
It's your trash.
Yeah.
Take it home.
It's just, unbelievable. Anyway, I wish I could have caught him. But all right, 506, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? 404-741-1230. 741-1230. We'll do some more in the... Oh, and by the way, speaking of Columbus Day, Pete just found this. Is this... what's it? Pasobiec? Is that the guy's name? Jack Pasobiec,
I think.
Yeah. Actually, who is he? He pops up all the time posting great stuff, but who is he?
He's a columnist, and he's written some books, I believe.
Is he a writer?
He speaks.
Again, I know his name, but I don't know actually what he does for a living.
He tweets.
Does he make a living doing that? I mean, he must be retired.
Yeah, he's a writer.
Rich,
I think he does essays and stuff like that. He does a lot of speaking. Cool. I forget what he does for real.
Well, he posts things on Twitter, X, all the time, and including this. Pete just sent this to me. Here's a picture I'm looking at now. Of course, it's silly on radio, but there's a picture I'm looking at now from October 12th, 1963. The picture is a long shot of some very cool black and white people in uniform, and it's the New York Military Academy marching in the New York City Columbus Day Parade, 1963. The New York Military Academy in 1963 was led by their commanding officer, Donald J. Trump, age 17. Donald Trump, the backbone of America, getting the country back in shape again.
And what is Kamala doing? She's giving speeches about how much she hates America and that we shouldn't even exist. And he's marching when he was younger up and down New York City with the parade.
She wants to get rid of Columbus Day and change it entirely. And Donald Trump was the marshal, the commander, the commandant of the New York military.
Okay, here she wants the full story. Okay, that's fine. I have no problem with teaching the full story of what happened after the Columbus and the explorers, especially DeSoto and those sorts hit, and what they did going through the South and here in Georgia, around Atlanta and North Georgia.
Yeah.
Hey, they massacred Indians right and left and fought with them right and left. But let's get the full story in. Let's show us some Indian tribes did to other Indian tribes by enslaving them and genocide and rape and murder. And not all of them were peaceful. Some were. But let's get the full story out.
Yeah, and by the way, you've made the point many times. I'll bet you could find very hard to find the number of countries in this world that have never had a history of slavery.
None of them.
How many
have no history?
Yeah. How many places in this world, in the whole world, Europe, Asia? I mean, pick a place. Have not had an issue of slavery in their past, in their long ago past. Everyone.
Up until the 1800s, the early 1800s, the human default position was slavery.
Yeah. They should tear down the pyramids, I guess, if they're so upset about slavery doing stuff, tear down the pyramids.
A new theory is that they were actually hired workers.
Oh, well, anyway, then make some more. I don't know. For you folk...
Make
some more damn pyramids. That's what I'm saying. They'll solve everything.
We can't. Well, we don't have the technology.
That's right. How the hell could they do it? They couldn't do it today. Anyway, we have phone calls, Flounder. Is that what you said?
Yeah, we got Marty on the line. He wants to talk about Columbus Day.
Marty, welcome aboard. Happy Columbus Day, sir. What's up? Hello, Marty.
Good morning. I work for one of those cities that recognizes Indigenous People Day.
Yes, sir.
And on my out of office email, I have it said that I'm out of the office in recognition of Colonizers Day. I will return Tuesday if I still have a job.
Colonizers Day. You got some balls, right? He'll like
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that guy. I'll bet you have a whole file down of human resources too.
All right, we got Ed on the line, and he wanted to talk about the Supremes.
The Supremes, Motown. How's it going, Ed? Welcome aboard.
Hey, I'm with you on the Supremes. I grew up with Motown. All of that stuff was great.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to the long version of Someday We'll Be Together?
I think I have by mistake. I think I was traveling along and some station played it on an album cut or something going across country at night, or I kind of in the back of my mind. It went on and on and on, and it was beautiful. If am I thinking this correctly, or is there something else that you're thinking of?
You are 100% correct. It's got a lot of instrumental in it, and there are violins throughout it. It's absolutely beautiful song. And one other thing.
Yeah.
Have you noticed the male voice in the background?
The one who does a great bit of doing kind of repeating the lines that she's saying. I don't know who it is, but I know the voice. Yes, love that.
It's Johnny Bristol. He was one of the co-writers of the song.
And
he's getting her pumped up. Like "Go Get It, Babe" and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I like. In fact, it looks like it's almost ad-libbed, like it wasn't written down, but he was saying, "That's right, baby. Here we go. You're kind of repeating what she said. It was so cool.
It was 100% ad-lib. It's a great song and a great story about that. I love that song. All right, brother, just checking in.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. 511, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. I have another quick thing on Columbus Day. St. John's University is the largest Catholic university in New York, and they've gone woke and saying no more Columbus Day. They now are calling it, they're calling it fall break or something. Let's see. St. John's academic calendar now describes the holiday as a fall mini break. University closed, no classes. Fall mini break. They're afraid to actually say anything. In New York City Sanitation Department had a notice saying there's no trash curbside because it's Heritage Day, Indigenous Peoples Day. St. John's defends taking the Columbus off because there are only a certain number of days available for holidays. Notre Dame does not recognize Columbus Day at all, and its classes are in session. It's just another day at Notre Dame. I guess that's probably all right.
We got breaking news here.
All
Kamala's Wins, which is a Twitter account called Kamala's Wins, says breaking, former conservative Fox News host Geraldo Rivera.
Oh, God, yeah.
Called him conservative.
Yeah, conservative.
Has just announced he's endorsing Kamala.
Well, boy, there's a scoop.
That's a big win.
No kidding. Jerry Rivers. I used to know his agent. His agent worked with my TV station back in the 70s. His agent says he was Jerry freaking Rivers until someone said, hey, guess what? We need to make you real Puerto Rican so you'll become a star, which he did. And he, for good reason, he did the outing of that horrible boys reform school or whatever. Anyway, Jerry Rivers. 513, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Holy crap, but sports is coming up to it. Look out.
The 2024 election changes by the day. So with the future of the country on the line, you need more than headlines. You need the conservative voices you can trust, which is why the Conservative Voice of Atlanta brings you the local and national voices you need most to make sense of all the noise. We bring you proud veterans, Atlanta Talk radio legends, and local perspectives that shape our communities.
It's going to be an interesting couple of months right here on XTRA 106.3.
How's it going? Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder here. 514 404-741-1230 is the number. And Jeff and Mark at Atlanta Safe House are ready for you. You know, for the rest of the year, when you get your safe at Atlanta Safe House, you need a safe, Sally. Take it from the Kimmer when I didn't have my safes down in Florida when I retired. Medical records gone, bump-a-da-boom. VA said, go take a thing, and my fault. I couldn't save my stuff, and so I was wrong and I was bad. Don't be wrong and don't be bad. Get yourself a freaking safe. I mean, think of, my God, they're on sale, hundreds of dollars off all the time, and for the rest of the year, you don't have to pay any of the sales tax. Atlanta Safe House will pay all the sales tax on your safes. And by the way, they're always on sale. I think they still think there's summer sales going on. October actually is gun safe month. And again, I'd love to tell you about a gun safe is bigger than most. Pistol safes, of course, are size enough for pistol, but the big gun safes, it's not just big empty space in a metal box. They have shelving units and nooks and crannies and all that kind of stuff. Business safes, security safes, jewelry safes. They can build you a vault door. They can build you a family storm shelter at Atlanta Safe House. It's true. All the top brands, everything's on sale all the time. Been doing this for decades. Only off-duty military, police, and firefighters to come into your home or your business because you can trust them. The way you can trust Jeff and Mark and the gang at Atlanta Safe House. They're a showroom in Acworth on Industrial Boulevard, paying all the sales tax for the rest of the year. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Look them up yourself. AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
Extra 106.3 listeners are falling in love with Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell.
Me and my wife now find our favorite sandwich place. That food over there was great.
Yeah, those rolls are so soft and sweet. I mean, it was just melt in your mouth. It was, and the steak was tender and juicy and flavorful. I can't say enough about it. It was very, very impressive.
It was so good.
Make Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell on Woodstock Road your new favorite spot for lunch or dinner. Nucky'sHoagies.com.
Have you heard about Sonder and their Georgia-based Medicare Advantage health plans? Sonder Health Plans is committed to revolutionizing healthcare, making it straightforward, personal, and affordable. Call them and ask if you qualify for their fantastic $400 grocery card offer and $0 premiums. They've even got their own radio show and podcast called Weekend Wellness, dedicated to keeping all Georgians healthy and happy at every age. Call 800-331-2928 or visit SonderHealthPlans.com. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
Are you the type of consumer that likes to do your research before you choose a company? Well, then you need to join Dan Watkins, Chris Lolamy, and myself, Jim Niarchos, every Saturday morning at 9 for the All Four Seasons Home Show. We only vet local businesses with a proven history of integrity, competence, and solid customer service. The All Four Seasons Home Show helps you make a good consumer decision, save money, and not get ripped off. You can also follow our podcasts on Apple, Google, and Spotify. The All Four Seasons Home Show, Saturday mornings at 9, right here on Extra 106.3.
Hey, are you paying crazy rates for your health insurance? Call Doug Moore at 770-697-0100. Your health insurance cost shouldn't look like a house payment. Are you tired of having things not covered, like doctor visits, labs, etc.? Doug can help, so call him at 770-697-0100. Doug sells all forms of health insurance. His plans have no deductibles, and you don't have to switch doctors. If you're paying too much for health insurance, Doug can help. He has over 20 years experience. You can go to his website and request a quote. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net. That's yourchoicehealthplan.net or call his cell phone at 770-697-0100. Doug can make a plan that you will be able to use. Call 770-697-0100 and he can help. Or go to his website to request a quote, yourchoicehealthplan.net, and contact him. Doug says don't fret. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net and he can bring rates down. 770-697-0100.
Life takes a toll on all of our bodies. It's inevitable and part of growing older. Whether it's sitting for hours at our computers or working a physical job, our bodies pay the price. It's hard to accept, but at some point, the pain gives us no choice. Now, we can't turn Father Time back, but there is an effective way to turn back the clock on pain, and that is Relief Factor. It was developed by doctors, and Relief Factor helps support your body's response to inflammation. And the difference, instead of masking pain, Relief Factor helps eliminate it for good. And it's 100% drug-free. If the pain that comes with living a full life is affecting you, do what I've done. Turn back the clock on pain with Relief Factor. Their 3-week quick start is $19.95, less than $1 a day. And when you feel good, it's amazing how much more you can get out of life. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF. 800-4-RELIEF. Try it for $19.95. While we can't stop aging, not yet, we can stop pain with Relief Factor.
Look out. Hold on. We got a quickie with Rick the Painter going right before Pete Davis. Rick, you're on the radio. What's up?
Hey, Kenner, hey, brother. Hey, Halloween is not like it used to be. The kids don't go out and do trick-or-treats, so the adults just make a big party out of it.
Yeah.
Hey, you invite the kids and the adults, and everybody has a good time. Anyway, the kids drink Kool-Aid. You know what the adults drink?
What do they drink?
Booze.
Booze. Oh, hey, ho. Wow, okay. So there you go. So we could start a new thing where we could have Rick the Painter call in and do like a little one-liner before. Oh, or not. Again, all right, fine. And now, 5:20.
Veto. I like his jokes, though.
Rick the Painter's our guy. We love Rick the Painter. We just tease and joke.
Hey, it's nowhere but up from here.
5:20. Holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis. Ready.
Falcons played around in Carolina yesterday like a cat plays with a mouse. But in the end, they pulled away and they won 38-20. The dynamic duo of Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier just tore up the Panthers' D-line. 36 rushes, 202 yards, averaging over 5 yards per carry and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts had a good game despite being chastised by colorman Mark Sanchez on one play. Said he quit on the route. The Falcons are now undefeated against the NFC South and sit atop the division like Well, a falcon on his nest. For the first time since 2020, they've scored more than 35 points in 2 straight games. And yes, Virginia, the era of Arthur Smith and Desmond Ridder is over.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this is an offense, baby.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Now, defense needs work, but the offense, defense comes through when it needs to, though. Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh had to leave the game for several minutes after he came down with another bout of heart arrhythmia. Happened to him before. As someone who's dealt with this since 97, I'm glad he got checked out. He went to the tent, and then he went inside the locker room, and then he came out. So who knows what, sometimes it just ends on its own. So we'll see what goes on. It can be caused by anything. Caffeine, basically alcohol, not sleeping enough, stress, things he probably has, except maybe the alcohol in his life as a head coach is definitely the stress and not sleeping enough anyway. Jets holdout Hassan Reddick has lost over $7 million sitting out this season, so he now has a new agent. We'll try
I would
that one.
think, yes.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Deshaun Watson of the Browns has settled more lawsuits, and he's thrown touchdowns since coming to Cleveland. 24 lawsuits settled, 19 touchdown passes. After the Ravens beat the Commanders, a Ravens fan was filmed in a jersey walking the streets of Baltimore looking for Washington fans, then punching and kicking them while screaming, "I don't effing lose."
Whoa. Really?
The Baltimore police are looking for this gentleman, at which you see his face plain as day.
Well, that can't
so
be.
it's just a matter of time.
Jeez.
Big old doofus white boy.
Yeah.
The SEC meat grinder was in full force again this weekend. Giselle texted me to say something feels off about the SEC this year, which got me thinking. Everyone predicted the name, image, and likeness would mean basically the rich programs would just get richer because they'd have the money to pay. But it seems at least the first year or so, the opposite's true. It's brought parity. It's brought it's kind of wild card is thrown into this.
Georgia's
So we
number
don't know
5
where
or
the dust
something.
is-
Yeah, I mean, here we go.
Yeah, we don't know where the dust is going to settle on this anyway, at least at the beginning here. So it's all like brand new territory. Fun time at Sanford Stadium Saturday as Georgia beat Mississippi State. Please stop bulldog on bulldog violence, my friends.
That's just not fair.
At halftime, the fans were confused when the strange team came running out of the tunnel. Turns out it was actor Glenn Powell filming a Hulu show about Chad Powers, the fake quarterback Eli Manning came up with a couple years ago when he pretended to try out at Penn State or something like that. The fans booed loudly because that's what the director wanted them to do, and they lustily booed Mr. Powell and his team as he came out.
Well, that was
of
fun.
the
then.
locker room.
That's fun.
Another week, another bad look for Kirby Smart. After complaining about Bulldog fans last week, this week he's catching flack for pushing/shoving a Mississippi State player on the sidelines. Of all teams to nut up on,
I saw
Miss
that.
State really isn't the one. Not much of a push, though, but definitely out of character for Smart and not a good look. Not a good look. I don't know if he's talked about it yet or explained it, but
He
he's
has.
in a moment or whatever. What did he say?
Flounder?
He did. He said he had called him, and he also talked to the coach and apologized. Said, when you're on the sidelines, it's just chaos and just, pretty much. He pretty much
went
owned
out
up
of his
to
way
it.
to go come up to him and push him, but he shouldn't have done it. But I'm
Agreed.
glad he apologized to him. Yeah. Latest rumor, maybe it's wishful thinking for most of the SEC, is that Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian will become the Dallas Cowboys' new head coach.
Oh, man.
If Jerry Jones ever gets off his duff and fires the overhill Mike McCarthy. Cowpokes got drilled at home again, this time by Detroit. 38 points was the deficit. In fact, Dallas's halftime deficits in their last 4 home games, including playoffs, are 20 points, 19, 15, and 21. That's at halftime.
That's at halftime.
They're behind. Yeah. Poor Jerry had to sit there and watch that travesty on his 82nd birthday as the Lions and Cowboys had a rare scorigami. Do you know what a scorigami is?
Scorigami. I don't know what that is. A Japanese a Japanese guy scores a touchdown.
No.
No.
How many Japanese guys are playing?
I
in the
don't
league
think there are
besides
that
kicking?
many. That's why it's probably rare.
It's when a score in an NFL game is made for the first time ever. 47-9 had never been an NFL score, and they've been around since 1920.
Oh, the numbers had never been compared. What was it, 49 to what? 7?
47-9.
47-9. It's never been a score.
102 years.
I'll be damned.
Never happened.
That's pretty funny.
I know. That'd be something you should bet on. Bad news for Detroit, though. They lost star defensive end Aiden Hutchinson for the season. A broken leg. He broke both the tibia and fibia.
I saw
It was
that.
so
Wow.
bad, they basically operated on him in Dallas. They didn't take him home. Housebets.com points out that the Cowboys' lone star these days is not their logo. It's a rating.
Wow. Lone.
1-star rating.
Yeah, one.
When asked if he's thinking about making a coaching change, Jones said, "Do you think I'm an idiot? Do you?" Well, when it comes to keeping head coaches too long, Jason Garrett, this guy, Chad, who's that guy that was Chan Gailey?
Oh, my God. I remember Chan Gailey.
Remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Jerry did admit the season was in the crapper. It's not over, but it's in the crapper. It got so bad yesterday, the Cowboys actually blurred out the score on their big scoreboard.
Oh, my God.
And he's also catching flack because on the sides of that stadium, the sun streams through and blinds the players and the fans and the coaches on one sideline. And they have curtains, and he refuses to lower the curtains.
Oh, man.
I don't know why the NFL hasn't stepped in and said, this is an unfair advantage to do something like that.
So.
But what the hell?
Jeez.
Florida quarterback Graham Mertz finally playing well. And so, of course, his season and college career came to an end with the ACL tear and the loss at Tennessee.
Oh, boy.
He had been doing so well, and then that happens. Army and Navy are both ranked in the AP Top 25 poll for the first time since 1960.
Wow.
I've had them in the Pete poll a couple of weeks now. I'm just saying, always ahead of the curve.
Yeah,
Pete
good.
poll.
Yeah.
Always
What do
ahead of the
you got?
NLCS here. It's all Mets this afternoon in Chavez Ravine. Right now, it is mid-fourth, 6-0 Mets.
Really? Whoa.
Yeah. Mark Vientos, a grand slam. Lindor, a solo shot. Dodgers were off to a hot start last night, though, in the National League Championship Series. They spanked the Mets in Dodger Stadium 9-0. By the way, Los Angeles' Kiki Hernandez now has 14 postseason home runs. That's more than Chipper Jones and Miguel Cabrera, who have 13.
Yeah. He's on a streak,
for Red
man.
Sox a lot.
He's got quite
he likes
a
hitting. In fact, they said when in the regular season, he hits a home run maybe once every almost 30 at-bats. In the postseason, it's like one every 13. He's like Babe Ruth when it comes to the postseason on that. The Dodgers pitcher set a new NL record for consecutive scoreless innings at 34 in the postseason. It ended when Lindor hit that solo homer in the top of the second today. Mets need to take this game, too, and it looks like they are because it's a bullpen game, last I heard, for the Dodgers. And going back to New York, if they even this up at 1-1, I said the Dodgers would take this in 5. But if the Mets went today, I may push that back to 6 because I thought the Dodgers would take the first 2. That the Mets were kind of in a little funk after last night, but obviously not. There's now an all-out war between female college athletes and the woke leftist administrators of colleges these days. The University of Nevada, Reno Athletic Department said the women's volleyball team, by God, would play San Jose State, which has a confused man pretending to be a woman on their team. He nearly took the face off a female opponent the other day when he slammed the ball. I mean, he almost knocked her out, okay? But the athletic department didn't ask the women their opinion. And the women say, we're not playing the damn game.
Right.
We don't care what they say. We're not playing. So replace us. Nevada, the 5th team to say no, and good for them. If the ladies refuse to play, this madness will come to an end.
I remember last week there were 2 different cases. People said, we're not playing with that freaking guy on there because it's not right. It's not fair. It's not right.
safe.
It's just wrong, period.
But it's not safe. That's the main thing.
It's dangerous.
Not safe. And, if you take the money out of the school's pockets, you take the money out of the conference's pockets, they will capitulate.
Yes, they will.
The women need to know this. The players have always had the power.
Yeah.
That's in my opinion. We welcome yours. The first openly gay hockey player in Finland, Jan Puhakka, is dead.
Oh, no.
He was just 29 years old, had already retired from hockey. John was found shot to death yesterday in his Finnish home.
Finland?
Finnish home, not finished home.
Oh, sorry.
Even though it may have been a finished Finnish home for all I know.
Yeah,
but anyway, turns out he was likely murdered by his partner, a veterinarian.
Oh, well, partner.
His partner, 66 years old.
Oh, wait a minute. He's 20 what now?
I'm no math major. That's a 37-year difference, which I think is the deficit the Lions beat the Cowboys in yesterday, I think. No word on if it was a slap shot. But at least he's back on ice.
Hey. My God.
Today in history, October 14th, 1992, this happened.
A lot of room in right center. If he hits one there, we can dance in the streets. The 2-1. Swung line drive left field. One run is in. Here comes Green. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win.
Debbie's got a little room to right center.
Great Skip Carey.
Yeah.
The great Skip Carey on another radio station that we used to work. Can we say the name?
That was one of the greatest calls of all time.
I tell you, I was drunk at Taco Mac down the street on Far Road, walked all the way down to work, okay, and spent all night with a reel-to-reel, cutting up with a razor blade and telescoping that bottom of the ninth inning.
Yeah.
And for Steve Holman and Tom Hughes the next morning to use.
Great morning.
It was my best work I ever did. I was so proud, and I was drunk as a skunk. The Braves win 3-2 over the Pirates. Game 7 of the NLCS. Sid slid.
Down the stretch he comes. I love it. Pete Davis, Holy Crap in Sports, 531. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Flounder's Funny's coming up, and so much more on your Monday Columbus Day. Look out.
The only place to be on election night is right here on Extra 106.3. Our live commercial-free broadcast starts at 6 p.m. and goes all night until the winner is declared. And we'll have the entire Extra crew in studio, local and national experts, and your calls live on the air all night. So grab the Extra 106.3 app now, stream it on YouTube, or just be here live on election night with Atlanta's only conservative voice, Extra 106.3 FM.
Are you planning for your big day? Are you picking out the venue, the cake, the menu, the dress, the tux? And you can't forget about those wedding bands. Well, you're in luck because Wedding Band Weekend is back at Solomon Brothers Jewelers. October 25th through the 27th is the best time to save big on those wedding bands that you'll say I do with. During Wedding Band Weekend at Solomon Brothers Jewelers, when you buy her band, you get his for free. And to make your purchase even easier, we're offering 60 months interest-free financing on all of the top wedding band designers in the industry. That's 5 years to not worry about paying for those beautiful rings that symbolize your commitment. And remember, no matter the price, you'll find something nice. So come visit us October 25th through the 27th to shop for your wedding bands in Buckhead on Peachtree Road, Alpharetta Old Milton Parkway, and Sharpsburg on Highway 34 and Fisher Road, or online at SolomonBrothers.com.
Hey, Jimmy, what's going on?
Oh, hey, Bobby. It's kind of embarrassing. I'm having deck problems.
You're having deck problems?
Hey, keep it down. It's embarrassing.
Now, look, there's plenty of guys in the neighborhood with deck problems. What's the matter with yours?
Well, it's small and old compared to yours.
All right, let's not make this a deck measuring competition. You just need to call Excavations. They've seen decks of all sizes, shapes, and colors. Good news is Excavations can build you a sweet new deck that you'll love to show off to your friends and neighbors. Don't worry, Jimmy. We're going to get you some big deck energy.
Hi, this is Candace with Excavations, and have I got a tip for you. Don't feel ashamed of your deck. Excavations can build an outdoor living space that you'll be proud of. And with our Exavision, we'll be able to show you your home's transformation before you even begin the work. Keep the HOA off your deck and give us a call today for decks, windows, siding, roofing, and more. Or visit us at exovations.com to get inspired.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
Have you thought about securing your hard-earned assets? Do you have concerns about the future? Protecting assets is crucial, and that's where Nelson Elder Care Law excels. As a family-owned and family-focused firm, we provide absolute assurance and peace of mind through our trademarked Absolute Protection Trust, tailored services in estate planning, probate administration, Medicaid crisis solutions, guardianship, and conservatorship. Our goal is to exceed your expectations and empower informed decisions. Visit NelsonElderCareLaw.com for asset protection and peace of mind.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on this station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to firstlibertyga.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for Howard Brothers and Steel Blowers. The weather has changed and here comes the leaves. Get ahead of the leaves this fall with Steel's backpack and handheld blowers. They make the fall cleanup quick. If you need a handheld blower for small spaces, a backpack blower for bigger jobs, or a powerful professional model to really make those leaves fly, Steel's got it all. Find your next Steel product at Howard Brothers. Their friendly team can help you find the perfect Steel blower to keep those pesky leaves out of your way. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Steel and Howard Brothers.
Old Deadeyes. Chairman of the board, Frank Sinatra. About to entertain you here. 1969.
Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes, each one she passes goes.
The guy had some pipes. I mean, yeah, the guy had some pipes.
Yeah, unlike Tony Bennett.
Yeah, well, anyway, 1969, police in New Jersey issued a warrant for the arrest of Frank Sinatra because he was tied to the mob in 1969. The boys, the Rat Pack. In fact, the original Ocean's 11 was just on last night or the night before or whatever. It's kind of fun. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 538. How's it going? 404-741-1230 is the number, 1230. Pete, on this day in 1984, after Holy Crap at Sports, George Anderson. We just talked about him the other day. I mentioned I have a baseball somewhere with the name George Anderson on it. Known as Sparky, of course. Sparky Anderson, on this day in 1984, became the first Major League Baseball manager in history to win 100 games and a World Series in both leagues. To this day. Birthdays.
What two teams did he do it?
Detroit and Cincinnati.
Very good.
Was that right? Oh, my God, that's right.
Yep.
I remember those.
You're right.
Birthdays, sports people. Charlie Joyner, Hall of Famer, NFL star, 77.
Chargers.
Air Coryell, wasn't that Air Coryell time back then? With what's his name?
He may have been part of that, yeah.
And who was that famous quarterback?
Dan Fouts.
Dan Fouts.
I was there. I was living there at that. It was fun to watch.
That was fun to watch. Sports Golf Hall of Famer Beth Daniels, 68 today. Quarterback Jared Goff is 30. And Stephen A. Smith, 57 years old today. 404.
What a birthday gift he got with the Cowboys loss last night.
Man. And by the way, what the hell's going on with the Cowboys? I mean, that's just
that
embarrassing.
He's a bad coach. Now, he was great when he was with the Packers for our first few years, and then you can tell what happened, why Aaron Rodgers pushed him out. The game has passed him by. They're soft. They're a soft team.
Yeah. Well, they're sure not the Cowboys of old, of any of...
Not Bob Lilly.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. 5:40 already. Holy crap. Shall we play a game?
Oh, my God.
Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder.
A month in the planning.
Well, we've been trying to play this stupid game for weeks, and we never get to it. So I said, by God, I made a note, and actually a piece of paper, and I put the note, Pete Game, and put it right in my stack, and now we have to play a game. So what do you got?
All right. This is an SEC game,
okay.
All right?
Now we're talking.
How many teams are in the SEC now?
12.
Higher.
14.
Higher.
15.
Higher.
27.
16. Now you're just talking crazy. 16 teams are in the SEC.
Holy cow.
All right, that's the game. Thanks for playing, everybody.
That's a lot. Holy cow. Well, that was great. All right.
No, that's not the game. I'm kidding.
I had my sheet here. I didn't know what it is.
Okay, out of those 16 teams, 14 of them have kind of an animal mascot. Even if their team name isn't an animal, they have an animal mascot. 2 teams, you could maybe argue have an animal mascot, but technically, no. It's not a. So, which are the 2 teams that do not have an animal mascot?
Wow. Does Alabama still have the elephant?
That is correct, sir. They have the elephant. Yes. Crimson-y, I think they call him.
They're the
I'm
Tigers.
kidding. That's not his name.
Tigers
They're
everywhere.
not in the SEC.
There's 2 Tiger teams in the SEC: Auburn and Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Oh, God. Well, I don't know. There's no way I can.
I'm sorry.
This out.
There are 3. LSU, which is also the Bayou
right.
Bengals, is also a Tiger.
Yeah, there you go.
There's 3. I don't want to mention LSU this week.
No,
so we're just going to skip.
All right.
Well, I know one just because of the joke. Isn't Vanderbilt?
That's correct. Vanderbilt is the Commodores, and they have the Commodore.
And I know that because of
Admiral.
They blew out Alabama last week, and I remember watching that and seeing their mascot.
That's right. And what's the other one?
That's right. So there's one for Flounder. You can't guess the other one?
I don't have any. I can't. No.
I'll give you a hint. It's one of the 2 new teams.
Is it Texas?
Oklahoma?
They're the Sooners.
Nope. The Texas are the Longhorns.
The Oklahoma Sooners, guys in wagons.
Fight with that's right. The Sooner
guys
Schooner.
in a wagon. I'll be damned.
But it's pulled by
horses.
2
horses. Yeah.
Horses.
So that makes sense.
Which they have names for. Schooner and Sooner, I think, are the 2 names and everything like that.
So it's kind of a iffy, kind
Oklahoma.
of a 50-50 thing. Oh, cool. Excellent.
And you say, well, how do the Rebels have an animal mascot? A few years ago, they had the black bear, which I love the black bear, but they got rid of him, and now they have the land shark.
Are you sure? I didn't know that. Are you land shark?
The land shark defense. Land shark. The guy dresses up in a shark and walks around. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. As long as they know it's not real. I'm sorry. 543. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. All right. Thank you, sir. Well done. By the way, speaking of
land shark.
Land shark. Remember, that was the funny part. Right at the end. And Gilda Radner, poor thing, opens the door to the land shark after he said land shark. Saturday Night Live, if you don't know what we're talking about, you have to Google it if you're under the age of 40. Again, things we may not know are true or not. I believe this is true, and I think it's going to come out, and I think it's only a question of time, and I'm getting more and more excited thinking about it, that the science filmmaker named Simon Holland says that we know there is extraterrestrial intelligence in our galaxy, and we have found it, and they're not human. He claims a contract with Mark Zuckerberg's Breakthrough Listen is a privately funded scientific research program. And by the way, this guy apparently, Mark Zuckerberg's group apparently paid $100 million to rent the telescope in Australia to look for this stuff. Let me say that again. Breakthrough Listen, which is Zuckerberg's group, purchased $100 million of telescope time and began re-examining 5 potential candidates of where this sound, this radio wave thing, came from. The signal was detected from a single point source. They believe the target is coming from a planet orbiting a distant star with a Doppler shift, which means differences in movement when you're coming closer or farther away. It appears to be rotating and is not a piece of human interference, just their normal life, apparently giving off this buzz signal, and it's unlike any known natural phenomenon, and they think they know where it is, and they're trying to get all the evidence to prove that this is non-human extraterrestrial intelligence.
This is just Zuckerberg trying to phone home. He's an alien.
He is an alien. Look at him.
He has no eyebrows.
He was put together. Somebody made him.
Look at him. He's an android.
Oh, my God. By the way, if you haven't seen the video again, almost out of time here, if I haven't seen the video again, check out the SpaceX mechanical arm catching the Starship rocket booster thing from Elon Musk. Holy crap. I mean, I was flabbergasted because I really haven't had much of a thing about the space program lately, but this was amazing. Look at go see the video if you haven't seen it. I haven't watched space programs since Wally Schirra and Walter Cronkite on CBS covering the space moonshots and stuff. But this thing with Elon Musk, what a guy, what a tribute, what an incredible human being.
As an added benefit for being a YouTube subscriber and watching us on YouTube, I'm going to reenact the actual moment that this happened.
Pete Davis, YouTube,
ready?
reenactment, and go. Doink. He did it, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like I'm watching the video.
He's back at work. They're screaming and yelling, and the crowd goes wild. It's exactly what it looked like. Amazing. Look at the video. It's unbelievable. And it's here right now. They're doing it. Oh, my God. 546, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Look out. 404-761-1230. 741-1230. I forgot what I'm doing here.
Why don't you try that again one last time?
741-1230. Thank you. Idiot. God, I'm hot.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Extra 106.3. We are at XTRA 106.3 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 106.3 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
The Upper Deck Golf Experience is coming to Truist Park November 21st through the 23rd. Upper Deck golf events let fans play a round of golf throughout Truist Park, from the upper decks down to custom greens on the field below, all while enjoying great music, cold drinks, delicious food, and multiple golfing challenges. With tee times ranging from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., there's a slot that can fit your schedule. Book your tee time today at braves.com/upperdeck.
Are you looking for something simple but delicious, sweet but also savory? Discover Schumann Farms Sweet Onions. Schumann Farms is a third-generation family farm with the Real Sweet brand and Mr. Buck's brand sweet onions. Each brand brings savory, sweet deliciousness to every meal. Whether you're grilling, sautéing, or simply adding a fresh crunch to your salad, Schumann Farms has you covered. Look for Schumann Farms Real Sweet brand and your Mr. Buck's brand sweet onions at your grocery store and taste the difference for yourself. Schumann Farms, the Georgia family farm growing tradition and the world's sweetest onions.
My fellow Americans, our yards are in troubled times. Unwanted weeds are crossing fence lines across our great nation, and we need to put a stop to it. No more college football Saturdays spent mowing the lawn. No, sir. Let's turf it with ultra-premium artificial grass from ATL Turf Co. They're Atlanta and North Georgia's first choice for premium turf solutions, from incredible lawns to custom putting greens. Let's make your yard great again with a free consultation at atlturfco.com.
Hi, this is Ben.
And I'm Walt from Horizon Background Screening.
I would say anyone who's working in any industry could use our services.
A couple of the clients that people tend to not even think about are churches, volunteer organizations. We do a lot of background checks for referee associations. Anybody who's going to be around kids or older adults or anybody vulnerable, you really need to do a background check that includes a criminal history, a sex offender registry search, and anything else that's really relevant to your organization, just to make sure that the people who you're putting in touch with, kids and other vulnerable people, are who you think they are, and that you're not putting your clientele at risk.
So we're going to help you reduce your risk. We're going to help you hire the right person on the front end so that you don't spend all this time with training and all those kind of things and then realize that wasn't a good hire.
The best way for people to find us is on our website. A quick Google search of Horizon Background Screening, or look at us at horizonscreening.com.
Get ready for unfiltered conversations on The Janelle King Show, where we tackle the topics that you won't hear at your family gatherings, but they're absolutely crucial for a strong republic. Don't miss us live every Saturday at 3 p.m. and every Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on XTRA 106.3. But if you can't tune in, that's okay. You can catch new episodes every Tuesday on the Podcast Park or wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. Join us for these discussions, and I can't wait to meet you there.
Most tax pros leave a message.
It's Jane. I'm moving on to a TurboTax expert who beat your price. Adam Devine, tell him how I feel.
Hey, tax pro, she's been thinking twice. Best believe TurboTax will beat your price. This is a tax rate.
Switch to a TurboTax Live expert and we'll beat what you paid your pro last tax season. Make the switch at TurboTax.com/beatyourprice. TurboTax full service only. Sign up by 12/20/2024 and file by 4/1/2025. Full details at TurboTax.com/beatyourprice.
There we go. Spencer Davis Group. Kimmer Payton Flounder, Spencer Davis, 1965. The Rolling Stones, Spencer Davis, Unit 4+2, The Checkmates, The Habit, The End, Charlie Dickens, all on Odeon, Birmingham during a British tour, 65, baby. Did they have a lot of hits? I know this song. I don't know. They have one hit. They weren't a one-hit wonder group, were they? I don't know any other.
I think they all went on to do different stuff.
I don't really remember much after the
Spencer Davis group.
This one song was all they really had, didn't it? That I remember.
They had some other stuff.
That was whenever it was. Let's see. On this day in history, 1964, Martin Luther King Jr. awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his work on nonviolent resistance to racial injustice. He was the youngest recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, 35 years old. This was the day in 1987, 18-month-old Jessica McClure fell 22 feet down a closed well in Midland, Texas. The nation watched as manly rescue workers tried to free her. She was pulled from the well 2.5 days later. And I read this morning a little bio thing on her. She actually had to go to the hospital. Her foot was misshapen because of the way she was trapped in the well. Hurt the ligaments or the tendons or something in her foot, and she needed surgery, and it was malformed ever since then or something. Again, she was there for 2.5 days, 58 hours. Viewers sent $1 million in a trust fund to her, and to this day, Jessica McClure from 1987, when she was 18 months old, does not remember falling in the well or pretty much anything about it. 5:53, holy cow. False Walsh, what an idiot. He invited the press to go with him on a duck hunt so he could show that he carries weapons of war, and the video shows him not knowing how to load the freaking shotgun. Oh, my God. What an... I mean, here they go. They're just shooting themselves in the foot over and over and over. People are saying, oh, my God, Tim Walz claimed he carried weapons of war in combat. He can't load a shotgun. The guy's beyond weak. My little sister could beat him up. You got to watch this. That was John Rich, the country guy star. I mean, they're doing one thing after another. Holy crap. Oh, by the way, we didn't talk about this, but I will. I forgot to mention this, and I'm going to mention it now, and I know this is wrong, but I don't care because it's important. There is a story going around, and it's on social media from a guy named I can't find it here, but I find from a post from DocNet YouTube. Okay, Tim, I guess now would be a good time to drop my October surprise. You remember him, right? The real reason you walked away from teaching, the kid who spent the night at your home, the one you went to the gay bar with, the reason he's talking about Tim Walsh. The reason the school board had a meeting about you. What do you think, Tim? Should I drop that now or should I wait for another week or so? You know, the student you were having sex with, the male student you were having sex with, they didn't call you Touchdown Timmy because you were the football coach. Oh, wait, you lied about that. You were the assistant coach. What do you think, Tim? You remember the Indigo Girls concert, right? The gay bar, spending the night, and of course the school board meeting. Think it's time, Tim? Think it's time, Touchdown Timmy? You were touchy, all right. That's a post going around. Now, answer me this, riddle me this, Batman. If this had been about J.D. Vance or Donald Trump, everybody would be talking about this post. And by the way, it's pretty ballsy to post it without having any evidence, so I assume there is some. In fact, some of the reaction was very clear. They're saying, this is a real deal. This guy has a scoop. You can take it to the bank. It looks like I just won that $5,000 bet. My pedo radar's never wrong. Well, it goes on and on and on. Anyway, if this were J.D. Vance, it would be all over the news. Even though I don't have any proof of anything. But again, what the hell? I can say whatever I want anymore. You don't have to show or prove anything in these days. What a bunch of crap. 455. 555. My God, 555. Listen, before we run out of time, let's do this. Cut number 7, Flounder. This is Scott Jennings on CNN. He's going to make them cry talking about these idiots and that phony gay ad that Kamala did trying to get men to vote for. Number 7.
A secret in the room. Everybody.
Oopsie, here we go. The old
It
numbers.
was a rough week. I mean, her faves are down. They're struggling with, the front page of the New York Times this morning, Democrats struggling with African-American voters, particularly African-American men. This gender gap issue is real. It's a real problem, and you see the Democrats reacting to it. And I think what they are now finally in October, the election, coming to realize is that a lot of men think Democrats care more about dudes who want to become women than dudes who just want to be dudes. No hunting, cosplay, or cringy videos is going to change it. The bet is made. Working class men, whether you're black, Hispanic, or white, persistently, consistently do not believe the Democratic Party, and specifically Kamala Harris, are going to do a thing for them. They've been told that they're the problem, and I suspect they're going to rise up on Election Day and tell the elites who told them that you're wrong.
In fact, we got one more soundbite, number 3 here, Flounder. Another scandal brewing, and the mainstream media is not covering it all. During that last town hall, Univision town hall with Vice President Sidepiece, well, apparently America's favorite consort was enjoying tequila backstage before the show. Here's what a woman asked her. You never heard this. It was edited out of the Univision thing. Cut number 3, Flounder, with the Vice President. Talking about her
My amigos
history.
want to know una cosa. Will you go back to El Stripping after you lose to the greatest president of all time? Muchas gracias. Trump 2024, bitches. Arriba. And LA.
Claro que sí, amigos. Before yo soy vice president, I was a mucho good stripper. I never was mucho smart, but I was mucho good at El Stripping. So yes, after I lose to El President Trump, I will go back to El Stripping for El Dinero.
Well, now see?
All right. You can see at the end of that, the AI doesn't quite have a grasp of the language. She says arriva, which is what Speedy Gonzalez always used to say. He go arriva, andale.
Right.
And she goes andele.
Yeah, that's not right.
Not andale.
They have to do a much better job. By the way, this is obviously real, and there's no question about it, because as members of the non-media these days, for the non-American press and non-American First Amendment, we can pretty much say anything we want and try to affect an election, and apparently it's okay these days, I guess. So, just take it for truth.
Or you can.
I can, yeah. I can say that I'm going to accept this as a thing. 5:58, Kimmer, Pete, Flounder. Flounder, how about one more Flounder's Funny for Nuckies, Hoagies, and the Subsisters?
A secret in the room. Everybody here has a secret. Especially that lady. My secret, I couldn't digest dairy, okay? Something you can't share first month of date. And you can't be out to dinner and go, listen, I can't have any dessert. I'm going to the bed tonight, all right? No, you just eat the dessert and you deal with the consequences later on, all right? Went back to her place, started to watch a movie. Halfway through the movie, the dairy starts dancing. I had to ask her real cool. This is in the beginning where you have to be cool with everything. Be like, listen, you got a bathroom or something like that?
Something like that. A bucket.
I don't know why you got a bathroom or something like that or something. Something I could use. Hoping she would say, yeah, it's down the hall to the right, and then you go outside. Or she's like, no, it's just around the corner. You want me to pause the movie? I said, no, actually, could you turn it up a little bit? I want to hear the acoustics in the...
Who's that there, Flounder?
Sebastian Monticello.
Oh, Montecalco? Is that whatever we always butcher his name. Manicalco, I believe it is. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, Flounder. Boys, tomorrow we do it all over again. Sing me home, Christine, baby. I gotta go. You're killing me. Hoorah, Herb, Semper Fi, baby, coming your way.
Start your day the right way with Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. Every morning from 6 to 10 a.m. on WFOM Marietta, Extra 106.3.